on The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all gonna get laid.
And again, it's picked up. It's Darius Leonard, a pick six for the Maniac. Touchdown, I-N-D-Y. Yes, sir.
Sabonis down the lane with authority.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, we've got a busy show for you. Thanks for joining us. A Sunsplash Friday. That's how they all should be, right? It's not the warmest out there, but this will do. There's no doubt about that. Getting into a big weekend. You got IU and Purdue coming up tomorrow. The voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher, is going to join us in the 5 o'clock hour. We shall discuss. We're getting closer and closer to having everybody here for the NCAA tournament. Prior to that, the Big Ten tournament. A lot of hoopage within reach. Not very many tickets. I'm going to be interested to see if those get on that secondary market, how much some of those bad boys are going to be. I mean, really, they're not even giving out, credentialing a lot of folks around here either. So this is going to be us, I think. I mean, hell, I might as well throw a big party. So, Joe's Grill, wherever you guys want me and Brent Halverson, we might have to come up there and do some shows and hang out and do some watch parties because, yeah, simply put, they've got this. And, again, they're just trying to get through it, and I do understand that. That's what everybody's just trying to do, trying to get through it. And then ultimately what matters most is that these games get aired on CBS or on TNT or on TBS, so they make that bucket load of cash. But, yeah, might as well. Shout out to everybody out there. If you want me during watch party, I'll come out. I know we already have some booked already, but whatever. Might as well do it for the month of March. Man, next week the weather looks really good around here, too. I always felt so much better. So much better when the weather of the Big Ten Conference Tournament week was really nice here. That is what it's supposed to be next week. Now, I do have a substitution today because both called. One has an NBA PA meeting coming up today. And we had scheduled the Mantis Dylan Windler, friend of the show from the Cavaliers, to join us, but he's going to be a part of the NBA PA meeting. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try to talk him into playing some pickup hoop with us coming up locally on Sunday, whereas he's going to say absolutely not because I make all this money and I'm not going to play with you jack sticks, and I completely understand why. And then we'll pick him up coming up on Monday. We will reschedule that for Monday. So I also got a call from our friend Tucker Barnhart out in Arizona. Let's get a good feel for what the Reds are doing during spring training, and Tuck's going to join us coming up here at about 3:10 to discuss that. It's been tough so far because he and they practice, work out. All their stuff is basically going on between 3 and 6. But he's going to call in here in a couple of minutes, or we're going to call him or something like that, and we're going to fire this conversation up. Bottom of the hour, Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk. I would add, this is true, maybe certainly true back in the era of single-class basketball, but still holds true for the most part today. The most exciting night of boys high school basketball tournament play, is it not sectional semifinal Friday night? Back in the day, it used to be, and I know things have certainly not so subtly changed, but I think it still is today, and that is tonight, and Bob Lovell will discuss that with us coming up a little bit later on. Bottom of the hour, in fact. Everything that's going on, and we have some tremendous matchups in sectional semifinal Friday night. I know there's only going to be a handful of you folks out there that are able, capable, allowed to go, but it is a good night for it. Mike Wells of ESPN.com is going to join us a little bit later on. We're inching closer and closer. Kind of feels like the glacial effect here, right? That's how slow-moving we are getting to this NFL free agency. I mean, it's almost like right now, after the whole Carson Wentz trade went down unofficially, that can't be made official until the start of the league year, seems like we've kind of slowed down. There's the occasional tidbit. You know, we talked about J.J. Watt around here. He ultimately went to Arizona. But as we get closer, there are going to be more and more cap casualties that will interest you. And not everybody should be a part of the conversation. Not everybody is going to be an adequate fit. Normally you'll ask me about it, but not everybody's going to be an adequate fit. But they're probably this year more so than others. It's going to be a certain larger layer of interest on some of those names as far as the cap casualty cuts are concerned. Talk about that with Mike and more, and he'll do his slow jammer entry for us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. So Danny Lopez is with the Pacers, right? And he's talking about what they're doing as far as the NCAA tournament's concerned. Or is he going to come on and talk about the 4 games that they're going to play in the month of March here? 4 games. That's it. He's going to join us at 4:45, I believe, and we'll talk about that. The Pacers last night, not surprising, go to the All-Star break. The NBA All-Star break, a loser last night at home to the Nuggets, and they may have carved that thing down to single digits. I kind of felt good when they got that thing knotted at 68, and then after that, it was clear that one team is just so much more gifted offensively than the other, and that gifted offense was not going to be stopped by anybody because, frankly, the Pacers out front can't stop a gifted or a non-gifted offense out front. Just can't happen. Just is unable to happen. People have asked me this morning, so what do you do? And I suggested this yesterday, and I guess by virtue of what we have seen, we have seen a little bit of an evidence of it, but I know that nobody's going to be thrilled about his offense, and he hit a 3 last night, and everybody in the world is going to let him shoot and whatever, but at some point, I'm all for Edmund Sumner getting some more clock just because he can occasionally stay in front of anybody. Because they just simply can out front. I mean, not 1 ounce. And I hate to say this sounds, it's really off-putting by me. And it's going to be really bad when I start to become apologetic before I even unleash it to you. It was a triple-double, and it goes down in the book as a triple-double. But that was one ugly triple-double. I mean, it was almost like that was a triple-double for Domas Sabonis last night. He's not playing well. Of all these dudes that looks like they need a rest, a decompression, to get away for a minute, to clear the head, anything, any cliche you want to use. Sabonis looks like he needs that more than anybody. It's fantastic he's an all-star. It's fantastic he's going to go. But he looks like a dude that needs to stay here. Or go someplace on a beach by himself and just decompress. Because right now it's not happening. And that is also highly problematic for this team. We've gone over a lot of the different aspects of this team and how things aren't working. That is highly problematic. And I know, again, you get a triple-double and just put it in the book. I would too. Hey, listen, I would not take some clown like me suggesting that was an awful-looking, crappy-looking triple-double. I would take it, but it was. We watched that last night. I'm assuming you guys watched that last night. I did. I also came to the conclusion last night, I don't know if you saw the tweet, right, that and I know this has worked against me a couple of different times, but when Quinn says on the broadcast there's still time, normally that means the game's over. That's what I gather that. Now it has been, I think the one time that it didn't happen was that New Orleans Pelicans game. What were they down? 8-9, something like that with 2 minutes remaining, I think. And he said they had more time. And that's one of the other times I go, okay, well, that means this game's over. And the Pacers down there ended up winning that. But last night, you could simply tell because there was just way, way, way too much good offense from a Denver standpoint and not enough. And you guys today, by the way, are still trading Miles with his 22 and 12. See, that's what's kind of funny about this entire thing. Like, I got to hear about it all the time. Anything that happens to a Pacer loss normally goes back to 33. 33 puts up really good numbers last night. You know what happens? Nothing. I don't hear anything. Which is not altogether weird. But the Pacers, they got a lot of head clearing to do here if they want to jump back into this, because they don't at any stretch right now look like they're worthy, especially when it comes down to a moderately decent team. They don't look like they're ready for it, and it's going to help when they get LeVert back, but still. Last night was a good team. It was an underachieving team to this point, according to many. I mean, even at 21-15 now. But it was a good Nuggets team, went to the Western Finals a year ago inside the bubble in Orlando. And listen, 113-103 was not as close as the final score would indicate. I mean, that felt like more of a 17, 18-point game. And after it was tied at 68, we kind of knew the direction in which that was going. So let's talk about that at 239-1070. I got the Colts stuff. I got everything local for you. You guys can dive in just a moment at 239-1070 inside the lounge on YouTube Live. Email and at JMV 1070 on Twitter, but on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Normally he's working out. Normally he's in preparation. Normally he is getting ready for a huge season as catcher and defending Gold Glove winning catcher of the Cincinnati Reds. Tucker Barnhart's live from Arizona joining us now. Did you get the day off today or something? What's happening?
No, we got a little bit later workout. So on my way to the field, got to dodge some tumbleweeds, wear a dust storm, and now we got blue skies overhead.
Oh, you
so
had a dust. You had a dust storm, did you?
Yeah, it was a little interesting. To be as clear as it is now, I'm surprised that it kicked up as much dust over here that it did. So we're good. We're good.
I saw pictures. You were taking pictures of a jet flying over your head a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I got over to Luke Air Force Base and watched some F-35s with my son, and it was a fun time.
That's nice. How are you doing, spring training wise so far? How are things feeling?
Good, man. I feel great. I made a lot of adjustments this off season offensively, and I feel like I'm a rookie again, which is a really freeing feeling. I feel like I'm 18 physically, which is good. My mind's in a good spot, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
All right. Who's playing? I asked this. Am I playing shortstop this year? Who's the shortstop?
You know, it's funny, but we're not sure yet. But
we're not. Do I still have a chance?
Probably. If you could find a Reds jersey, I think you'd be in the running. It's funny you say that because I was on second last night, and the guy that was playing shortstop for the Royals, he came over to me because I think there was a mound visit, and he was asking me who was going to be the shortstop, and I said, you know what, man, I think everybody over there in that dugout's got a chance to play shortstop at some point, including myself. So no, it could be one of D. Gordon. It could be Kyle Farmer. It could be Jose Garcia. It wouldn't surprise me if Eugenio Suarez sees a few innings over there at some point. I think it could be a mixture of a few people.
Suarez?
Including yourself.
Suarez? I think I'd be better at shortstop than Suarez.
Hey, he was a shortstop coming up through the minor leagues now. He debuted with the Reds as a shortstop.
Oh, man. How's the feeling with this team? Obviously, we knew what happened with the pandemic and all of that, but you look around this clubhouse compared to the way it was a year ago. Is there a similar exciting feel as what you just described as far as you personally?
Yeah, I think so. I think with what happened towards the end of last season or in the postseason for us, obviously it didn't end the way we wanted to, clearly. But I think it's given us the opportunity. We lost Trevor, obviously. We traded away a few guys, so it's given us kind of the opportunity to come into this season. Obviously, we have high expectations for us as a group, but there's not a lot of people out there that have high expectations for us. as far as win-losses are concerned. So I think it gives us the opportunity to play the underdog role. You know, I mean, that's about as cliche as it gets in sports, but I think it's something that there's a lot of people out there that don't really expect a lot out of us, but we expect a lot out of us. So I'm excited, and I think it fits the group of guys that we have, and I think everybody's excited to get going and just kind of show everybody how really good we are.
He is Tucker Barnhart of the Reds. He's in Arizona, taking a little break while on spring training out in Arizona on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You mentioned the loss of Trevor Bauer, who ended up signing with the Dodgers. That is a big piece. There's no doubt about it. But there's still a couple of dudes in that starting rotation you really like. Who might be able, though, besides the usual suspects of Gray and Castillo, might be able to step up in that capacity?
I think Tyler Mahle had a really good year last year, kind of overshadowed by the likes of Luis, Sonny, and Trevor. He had a really good year. I think he had a mid-3 ERA, which is very good in my opinion. We've got Michael Lorenzen, who is kind of up in the air whether he's going to be a starter or back into the bullpen guy, but either way, we're going to lean on him a lot. But the guy that really jumps out to me that you saw a glimpse of last year is TJ Antone. He pitched in the bullpen for us down the stretch. He started a couple spot starts here and there, but this guy's stuff is like elite of elite. His breaking balls, when guys swing at it, they swing and miss, or they hit it really, really weakly in play, and it doesn't result in a lot of hits, and he throws 100. So for me, I think it's a guy that could really, really take on a huge role for us, whether it is in the back end of the bullpen or it's in the rotation. So he's a guy that a lot may not know about, but I'd be shocked after this season if he's not a pretty well-known name on our team.
Would Michael Lorenzen play better if he were allowed to play shirtless?
Probably. I think it's a good, pretty good chance.
I think he would do that too. I think he'd probably be down with it, wouldn't he? Yeah, let's go ahead and play.
Of course.
Put a number on my back,
question.
whatever.
Without question. He get the American Gladiator paint and paint his number on the back of his jersey, get the ribbons tied around his biceps. It'd be good. It'd be a good look.
Oh, man. It's Tucker Barnhart with us via the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. All right, so who's going to be the closer? Who looks the part as your opening day closer role coming up?
That's a good question too. That's a lot like the shortstop question for me. I think it could be a few guys. I think 3 guys really come to mind. Whether it's Sean Doolittle, who has been an all-star closer in the big leagues before. Who has shown velocity that he didn't show last year, but that is back closer to normal. You have obviously Amir, who when he's right, he's nasty and lights out, and he has that mantra, that mindset that you want in your closer. And then you have Michael Lorenzen, who could do it as well if he's not in the starting rotation. So we've got a lot of guys. There's quite a few guys that we've got in camp that are non-roster invitees that have pitched in the back end of the bullpen before in the big leagues on different teams. And so I'm excited. I think there's a really good competition at that position on our team that I think is making everybody better. But I would think without being able to answer the question, I think it's one of those 3 guys that I mentioned first.
All right. I'm assuming you've caught nearly everybody that has the opportunity to be on this roster if they're not already solidified on it. And you mentioned Antone, I think it was a couple of minutes ago. Who else has looked really good as far as throwing it so far?
Well, I've been catching Hunter Green a lot. The coaching staff has wanted me to catch him. The front office has wanted me to catch him and kind of offer any advice or anything that I have for him, which I don't know if it's the best idea, but I got advice, I guess. But I caught him the other night.
What was the advice? He's been kind of a myth to me, like an urban legend. So you give me the advice gave him. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of just what I see. It's just while I catch him, whether it's anything from his tempo to maybe using his pitches a different way or in a different location, things like that. And a lot of Bull Durhamisms. Just don't think, just throw meat kind of things.
Did you tell him to hold it like an egg? It's an egg. Did you tell him that?
I haven't dropped that one on him yet, but it's coming. It's coming.
Hold it like an egg. It's an egg.
No, he's been extremely impressive. His first 3 pitches of the night the other night were 101, 102, and 103. The result from him the other night wasn't what he would have liked. I think that goes without saying.
Sure.
But I told him after his outing, I was like, man, you only threw really one bad pitch, and it was a hanging breaking ball that a major league hitter hit for a homer. I mean, it just happens. He tried to back foot slider the second hitter of the game, and he absolutely executed it because it hit him in the back foot, and he was awarded first base. So he's been extremely impressive and fun to catch. He wants to get better, man. He wants to get to the big leagues very soon, as does everybody, obviously. But I think with 103 in the tank, I think he's going to get there a lot sooner than maybe some other guys.
Would you qualify his stuff potential as nasty?
Yeah, I think it has the potential to be, nasty. I mean, his fastball already is nasty, but his breaking ball, if it continues to develop, which it will, with the staff that we have and all the technology that we have, he's going to be nasty sooner than later, for sure.
Well, that's what everybody's looking for right there, I'm sure. And people asked me about that the other night just to kind of go over it and see what he looked like. So I thought I might as well go with you and certainly see what you thought. Actually, Jim McCann from Southern California, who's a daily listener, has a question for you. Please ask Tucker what he thinks about the 20-pitch rule.
The 20-pitch rule?
Yeah, I don't know what the
20-pitch rule is.
I don't know what the 20-pitch rule is either.
I don't know what it is, but it may be in reference to spring training because there's a lot of really weird rules that all of a sudden are in play in spring training. Like we don't know how many innings we're going to play when the game starts,
right.
Or, what the funniest thing is, like in the minor leagues, you play a lot of backfield minor league games in spring training, and once the middle of March rolls around, everybody just feels like a bag of bones because everybody's ready to get out and play the regular season. And so if an inning goes long, they can just roll it. They just yell, roll it, like last batter, like Little League style. And we've started to be able to do that in the big league games now. So I don't know if we've actually won a game yet because we rolled the first inning the other night, but then I saw that we won the game. So I'm not really sure, but it might be in reference to that. Yeah. And if that's the case, I don't like it.
Okay, just maybe a couple of examples of rule modifications and or changes that you dig or may not like. And do you like the fact that the games seems like that they're trying to hustle up these games as quickly as possible? With baseball, though, man, it's just always been so different, and you got clocks going and timers going. Is that efficient for the game overall to you?
I don't think so. I'll use a term that Drew Store and our friend uses quite often. Is you don't buy tickets to the opera and expect a heavy metal show, and that's basically what we attribute to baseball. I mean, there's only so much you can do, and once you start adding clocks and number of pitch rules and things like that, I just think it tears up and it messes with the integrity of the game on the field. And I'll always say that once you start to get to that point, when you start affecting the product that's on the field, whether it be adding base runners at certain points of the game or eliminating positions or shifts or whatever you want to call it, I think you're messing with the integrity of the game. And I'm not a fan of those things.
It's Tucker Barnhart with us on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You've seen some fans at games so far. How weird was that, considering you hadn't seen that in a while? And I guess I'm unaware how, once you get to Cincinnati, they're going to handle that to this point.
Well, it's been great. And the funniest thing about all of it, especially in spring training, is it seems like it goes one of two ways. Like either you have the people that have been waiting to heckle you for a year, and so they've been sitting on their jokes and they can't wait to get them out. Or two, you've got all these people that are sitting and watching the game, and it's like they don't remember how to cheer or say anything, and so it's like dead silent. It's like one or the other. So I think people are knocking the rust off as far as their in-game experience is concerned. Right. But it's been a lot of fun. In Cincinnati, I believe what I've heard is they're going to allow just shy of 13,000, I believe, at the start from opening day until whenever something else changes. But we will definitely start with fans, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Man, I am too. I can't wait to watch. Incredibly looking forward to watching for sure, man. And they got to get you back on the Saturday show too at some point.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. I love it, man. Whenever I can listen, I listen for sure. I was listening to a little winger on the way to the park today too. So that's what gets you locked in. I mean, you can't get locked in without the tones of Kip Winger screaming at you. Come on. You aren't lying. You aren't lying. I'm about to take the best batting practice ever.
Hey, tomorrow night, Matt Taylor, the voice of the Colts, is going to come in with me and do some stuff, I think.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So he'll probably it'll be like Tom Petty Saturday night then, because that's what he'll want to hear the entire time. It's Tom Petty. So
that's a wealth of music knowledge right there. You guys are going to have to argue your way into. You're going to play like 10 songs because you're going to be arguing about it the whole time.
Yeah, I got another Tom Petty. Come on, man. And it'll be some deep cut that only like Matt and the late Tom Petty has heard. You know what I mean? That'd be about it.
That's the best. It's always the best going to concerts with the guy that legend standing up on the stage. He said, "I'm going to play some new ones," and everybody just goes, "No,
don't do it." That's what I yelled at Van Halen when they came here for the tattoo tour. That's what essentially happens. I mean, I want to hear 1984, Women and Children First, Van Halen 1, and when you go to this new album stuff, everybody goes to the can. That's what happens.
Yep, goes to get a beer or goes to the bathroom. One or the other.
That is that. Hey, miss you guys around here. I cannot wait till you get started. Thanks for making some time for us today, too. Is there any other valuable lessons you have learned in Arizona since arriving there?
No, I got nothing else for you. It's just really dry as hell out here, but I won't tell you what the temperature is because you'll probably want to come through the phone and kick my ass. So.
Is it like 85?
It's not 85, but it is 80.
You son of a gun, You've got 80-degree temps. Dry. That means your nostrils are dry. I bet you got to have a little finger up there picking some things out of the way at times after a 9-inning contest. Yes. And you got El Pollo Loco, too. You just got it all out there. Gosh.
We got it all. We got In-N-Out Burger, El Pollo Loco. We got it all.
Son of a gun. All right, I miss you, brother. I can't wait to watch you play for real coming up here. And if you need anything, let me know. If you want to call in tomorrow night, do it.
Sounds good. Miss you guys, too. We'll see you soon.
You got it. Tucker Barnhart, the defending NL Gold Glove Award winner at catcher on the Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline. You got it all. 80-degree temperatures, dry air, dust storms, Jonah in Arizona, and El Pollo Loco. You had me at El Pollo Loco. That's that. All right, let's get things going inside the lounge on YouTube Live. Going to get in there, participate, watch, listen. That would be fantastic. As I mentioned, Matt Taylor is going to join me tomorrow. That should be funny. Mike Jones says, I'm as fake as the WWE. You're absolutely right. I'm completely fake. I'm as fake as the WWE. Yet people love the WWE. Weird. And they love us. Even more weird. Don Fisher, 5 o'clock hour. Danny Lopez of the Pacers, Mike Wells of ESPN.com. And sectional semifinal Friday night is awesome with Bob Lovell, who's set to join us coming up on the other side. And back to the Pacers last night and that loss going into the All-Star break. I want to get your thoughts on that and more. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Hey there, it's Big Joe, and there's never been a better time to find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Right now, new customers have a chance to win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on Israel Adesanya to win against Jan Blachowicz in their fight on March the 6th. Just use that bonus code BIGJOE100 when you make your first bet to take advantage of this offer. Get ready to start betting with confidence and turning knockouts into payouts. Sign up today and discover BetMGM's daily promotions, boosted odds specials, and more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use my bonus code. It's BigJoe100 to win $100 in free bets if Adesanya beats Blachowicz. Get in the ring with the king and enjoy fight night more than ever. It's always showtime at BetMGM. This is a new customer offer. Paid in free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years of age or older to wager. And if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, please call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
This is for the men who never settle. The ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie. The type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. And the men who use PTO to catch afternoon basketball in March with the boys. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Who wants to settle for a single TV? With more TVs, bigger screens, plus our fabulous scenic views, there's more to watch at Twin Peaks.
Hey, it's JMV. Last year was tough, and even tougher on me had I not got into Franciscan Health to have my colonoscopy. Right, Dr. Mon?
That's right, JMV. Because you made your health a priority and didn't put off your colonoscopy, we were able to remove your precancerous polyps before they had a chance to turn into cancer.
I know people that put off their screening. I'm glad I didn't.
1 in 20 Americans will be diagnosed with colorectal cancer in their lifetime, and it's the second most common cause of cancer-related deaths. Putting off your routine colonoscopy is nothing to mess around with, but you can also take comfort that knowing that our cancer center is the first and only accredited program for rectal cancer care, and their team is committed to providing the highest level of care should you need it.
Don't put it off. Get to Franciscan Health. They make it so easy, and then you can sit around and watch hoop.
So don't put it off any longer. Go to franciscanhealth.org/colon-care to learn the facts.
Schedule an appointment, even on a Saturday. Tell them JMV sent you.
This ad for Hellsberg Diamonds has been specifically written for people who would rather think about football than engagement rings. If we're going to sign a new quarterback to a long-term contract, it'd be great if there were some guarantees. And if that quarterback were a diamond from Hellsberg, there would be a price match guarantee, meaning you won't find better quality at a better price anywhere. That guarantee would make it easier to sign that quarterback, and at Hellsberg, buy that engagement ring. All made possible by one of Hellsberg's great financing options. Visit your local Hellsberg store or at hellsberg.com. Hellsberg Diamonds, a Berkshire Hathaway company.
The non-stop action of tennis takes center court at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Bet Rivers serves up an exciting tennis betting experience like no other, with a massive number of live in-game betting options, including point-by-point betting. But don't just bet on the game live. Watch it live. Bet Rivers Sportsbook live streams a huge number of tour events from around the world throughout the tennis season. Try it today, and Bet Rivers will match your first deposit up to $250. It's a winner. Bet on tennis at Bet Rivers Sportsbook. Go now to betrivers.com. Must be 21 or over to play. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8444.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and it's a great time to march into Payless Liquors and take advantage of a variety of low prices. Half-gallon sizes of Canadian Club are $16.99, Windsor Canadian $12.99, Jim Beam White Label $26.99, Fireball $22.99, and Pop-Off Vodka $8.99. You can also get the St. Elmo Cola 4-packs for only $14.99 at all 26 Payless Liquor locations. Online at PaylessLiquors.com. Open 7 days a week. Don't pay more, get more. Pay less at Payless Liquors.
Stress-free car buying begins when you let CarSnoop handle the dealer hassles for you while you stay anonymous. Build your ideal vehicle at carsnoop.com or download the app today.
The Ride with JMV.
Look at all those ding-dongs.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
We got Arch Madness going on. I saw where Loyola knocked off Southern Illinois a little bit earlier. Indiana State and Evansville right now with my Fighting Trees up 3 over the Purple Aces of Evansville. A little under 8 to go. The under 8 timeout is going on, and that is Arch Madness. I believe a couple more coming up later on tonight as well. We'll keep you updated on that. Meantime, Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline, friend of the show on a sectional semifinal Friday night, which arguably is the most exciting night of the boys' high school tournament overall. Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk joins us. I know it used to be that way back during single class, but is this night still the most fun, the most enjoyable that you have during the boys' tournament as far as sectional Friday night semifinal style is concerned?
I think it is. I mean, you have twice the games you'll have tomorrow night on Championship Saturday. So, obviously, just in sheer volume of games, you'll have more. And I think you have some compelling matchups. I think you really do. So, you look around and, this is – hey, it's going – it just seems like it got here all of a sudden, and now we're playing for sectional.
Well, as we've talked about, too, the impressive part, Bob, is that it got here. And they got here in the fashion in which they did. I will always say this. I mean, it is incredibly impressive, and much like they did, Bob, in the football season, they just continued to push forward, and that's what they've done.
You know what? That's exactly what they did, John. And I think each week gave you more confidence, more momentum. People started to follow protocols more. It's amazing. I don't think anyone could anticipate you'd go through all of this and get to this point. You already have a girls' championship decided. You have a football championship. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
So Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk. All right, so the landscape, not just in the area, but around the state tonight on sectional semifinal Friday nights. Where do we begin as far as really good matchups of interest?
I think you always start with sectional 10. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You go to Tech and start there, work your way back. You know there are going to be great games there. It's always that way there. I think you also go down to sectional 63. Bar Reeve, North Davies, Lagodi. They're all ranked in the top 10 in 1A. So go to those two places and work your way back.
Yeah, that's a pretty good start right there. I don't know. You just kind of look. It seems like that this year, maybe I'm wrong about this, but it seems like the collective balance overall at every level has been there. And I know we live in it, so we kind of determine what is a big change or a not so big change because we're going through it. But that's the way it feels to me. It seems like that there's an even balanced of a playing field from top to bottom as I can remember.
I think you're right, John. I think when you look at teams that are out there, 4A has been wide open all year long. 3A, the same thing. I think, Blackhawk Christian clearly is a team that you have to pay attention to. They've dominated their class all year long, and single A has just been, again, as it normally is, has been a toss-up between 3 or 4 teams. And so, yeah, the collective balance is strong. I think it's great, too. And it's just one of those things every night you're going to have to play well, obviously. But there's a dominant team in a Blackhawk Christian, and it's some really, really good teams by class as you go down.
So Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk is coming up later on tonight. He'll have everything for you, too, as far as the semifinals of sectional play is concerned. I mean, I'm just looking around here, and you mentioned, I think, some good ones, too. Certainly in the southern portion of the state of Indiana, besides what you had previously mentioned, there's some good stuff happening around the southern portion of the state later on tonight, too.
Well, you know what, John? I think they're all good. I mean, think about it. You remember those days at Eastern Green? You know what sectional week was all about. You can still remember that. You remember it vividly, how excited you were to get on that bus and head out and go play. And it's a tremendous week for all of us. And I think there's great balance geographically. I think there are some really good teams at all levels around the state. So my suggestion is if you can get into a facility, go watch some ball. It's going to be pretty good.
My guys get the Linton Miners of the Fighting Joey Harts coming up later on tonight, so that's going to be really difficult. You're an alum of Plainfield. They, I believe, are 21-2 this season. This season has been as good. When's the last time it has been this good as far as a win-loss record and the success in the regular season is concerned?
Oh, gosh, I don't know. It hasn't been that long, but it's been a while.
Sure.
I mean, you know what they've done is they have one really solid player, and then they got a lot of kids who play well together. They defend. They can score. It's been a fun story to see them do what they're doing. You know how it is. I hope they win. I keep pulling for them every night. You know how that goes.
Yep.
But this is the time of year where hearts are broken. We all know it. I was fortunate to play on 2 championship teams in high school, and also remember being heartbroken more than once when we were in school. So, yeah, fun time. People, look, if you're not a Hoosier, you don't understand this, and there's no way you can grasp the enormity of what this weekend is all about.
So LN is as good as anybody, if not the absolute best. But you got LN gets Cathedral, knocks them off earlier this week, and then for the trouble, they now get Warren Central later on tonight, which on paper looks like fantastic basketball to be had.
There's no question. I think when the draw came out, you knew. I mean, you looked right there, and you're thinking each one of those games just seems like it gets harder and harder. And, they play each other through the regular season. They know a lot about each other. They see the kids see each other in the AAU circuit. There are no secrets. Everybody knows what they do, how they play. I think a lot of people will tell you if you can manage to get yourself out of section number 10, you have a good chance to play for a championship.
So Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk. We'll talk it up with everybody coming up later on tonight across the fine stations with Network Indiana affiliation. Carmel 20-2, Hamilton Southeastern 12-10, and Noblesville and Westfield. And the Shamrocks have had a fantastically nice season to this point too.
Yeah, they have. They really have, and it's good for them. It's tough up in that part of the state, that Hamilton County area. They're all pretty good, to be honest. So it's just one of those things. Carmel HSC, those are always great matchups. Carmel has had a fantastic year. HSC's kind of quietly gone along and played very, very well. Should be pretty good matchups, John.
I got people checking in. They're going down to Whiteland to see 12-9 Whiteland and Greenwood at 17-5. Shelbyville and Center Grove, also a matchup. So we got some people at least got some tickets to get in. Not a lot of them, not as usual, but at least a handful can get in.
Again, I think if you can get in, you should go. And if you can't go, listen to our show after the games, and we'll try to catch you up on what happened.
Hey, I want to give a little bit of love because I know you'll bring this up later on tonight and certainly will coming up on tomorrow night's show as well. But the job that Paul Casaro has done at UND in year number 1 to navigate through all of this, to start out 0-7 and then to knock off Truman State a couple of days ago to play over in St. Louis, I believe in the semifinal coming up later on tonight. And then what Scott Heddy has done just to continue what Scott Heddy does at Marion. It's been amazing.
I mean, it really has. I mean, you talk about Paul Casaro, you're right, 0-7 in that league.
Yeah.
But think about that. To dig yourself an 0-7 hole in the most difficult Division II conference in the country, and then to come back and do what they've done is amazing. Just nothing short of amazing. Plus, I mean, here you are, brand new coach, and your kids have two decisions. They can buy into what you're doing, or they can go south. And to their credit, they've bought in, climbed back out of it, and they're playing very well. Scott Heddy can coach, John. I mean, he can absolute coach. Doesn't matter what, doesn't matter where. He is an outstanding. He didn't win championships at Carmel by accident. He is a tremendous, tremendous basketball coach. And it's going to get interesting because the NAIA has changed their national tournament format. And so they're going to be there. They've played well. They're going to be playing for – hopefully we hope they're playing for a national championship, and it wouldn't surprise me if they do.
All right. What time do you go on the air later on tonight?
9:30. 9:30. All I do is work.
Now, you're coming in now, right?
Yeah, I am.
Well, that's good.
I've been coming in for a while.
Well,
feel more comfortable, more focused,
Matt,
stuff like that.
And I say that all the time too. That's why I would rather come in. You know what I mean? Because it's a different focus than when you do it at home, especially from me. So yeah.
Yeah, the boss is upset, so we have to talk her off the ledge. Since I have COVID brain, she's on standby with the silver alert, making sure I don't end up in Michigan sometime.
All right. Well, we keep an eye out. Matt Taylor's coming in for a little bit tomorrow night too for the JMV takeover. So.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to swing by.
You should. We'll be up
Matt
here
Taylor,
just spinning the hits.
I think that'd be fantastic.
Spinning the hits. Good. Yep, come on up. 6 until midnight. Surely to goodness you can find a window to get up here for 6 hours. Come on now.
Oh, I can find a window. The problem is I need to remember.
I've easily forgotten.
If I can remember, it has a chance.
All right, Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk, coming at you at 9:30. If you want to hear anything about your favorite team or your team of interest on sectional semifinal Friday night for the fellas, this is it tonight. And then, of course, tomorrow night at 9:30, he'll have a recap of absolutely everything that has gone down as teams will vie to move on to the regionals. And as we remember a year ago, that's when everything was shut down. Everything stopped right before the regional. So we're almost to a year to the day coming up. So
see, that's amazing. I hadn't really put it in that perspective, but you're 100% right.
Yeah. They were trying to figure out ways to get some of these games in, and then once one sectional pulled the plug, really once the Big Ten, said they weren't going to do it, then everything started to fall then.
Well, let's hope we get them in, John. I think we are.
All right, buddy.
Everyone's going to have some fun.
Stay healthy. Join us for a minute tomorrow night. Appreciate you.
I'll do that. See you later.
So Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. How many of you guys are going to be able to get into these games tonight? I mean, just a handful, right? Family members, that's about it. Maybe a little bit more than that. Handful of students. About it. Give you an Arch Madness update with Indiana State and Evansville in the Mo Valley coming up in just a bit, too. Mike Wells, top of the hour. Danny Lopez of the Pacers in the 4 o'clock hour, too. You know, what they're involved in, what they're doing as far as prepping for and then executing the NCAA tournament here in Indy, and that is getting closer and closer. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. You got IU and Purdue in West Lafayette coming up tomorrow. And we're going to see where this entire thing goes. I think a lot of IU fans are predicting where this thing is going to go. But we shall certainly see. Don Fisher, 5 o'clock hour. Anything goes in the 6 o'clock hour. If you're on hold, I'm back to you coming up next. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Join us March 8th for the virtual BOSMA Speaker Series. We welcome keynote speaker Barry Collier, VP and Director of Butler Athletics. For more information and to RSVP, head to the events page at 1075thefan.com.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame invites you to Canton, Ohio this August for twice the fun in 21. Saturday, August 7th, we are honoring the Centennial Class of 2020, which features Edgerrin James. And on Sunday, August 8th, the Class of 21, headlined by Peyton Manning, will unveil their bronze busts and share their stories of triumph and dedication that led them to Canton, Ohio. Make your plans to be at the greatest gathering in football history by visiting profootballhof.com/enshrinement for twice the fun in 21.
Hey, it's Big Joe, and there's a lot of great things about this time of the year with the weather warming up. You've got flowers starting to bloom and leaves are coming out on the trees and that. But you know what? The one thing about this time of year I absolutely hate is the fact that it's pothole season. Man, those potholes are a pain. Turns you into a Grand Prix driver out there on the roads. Well, if you need a little bit of help, obviously call your politician to get those things fixed. But in the meantime, in case you happen to hit one of those potholes, I sure hope you have AAA. A AAA membership gives you the peace of mind that no matter where you are or what kind of driving conditions you encounter, if you have any kind of car trouble whatsoever, all you have to do is call 844-GO-AAA-GO. That's 844-GO-AAA-GO, or go to AAA.com. And when you call, make sure you get that quote for AAA's auto, home, and life insurance, because you don't have to be stuck on the side of the road to get assistance from AAA. And with spring break coming up, that peace of mind that you and your family are taken care of out there on the roads is absolutely priceless. AAA.com or 844-GO-AAA-GO.
Hey, it's John. Here's one thing that I love, I know you love as well, about the springtime. It is making sure that we get our lawn on track. That's why I'm using GetSunday.com. You know, because I like to do this stuff myself, and GetSunday.com is so unique. It's just not another lawn care product. This customized plan is given to you. You can find it easily online, and it works with nature. It takes out all the guesswork and unwanted chemicals so you can grow a beautiful lawn that's better for people, pets, and the planet. All right, it's called GetSunday.com, and all you have to do is put in your home address, and then their free lawn analysis tool will take care of absolutely the rest within seconds. They use soil and climate data to create a tailored nutrient plan. telling you, it is a brilliant thing. It took me, and you know me, I'm hassle-free, right? It took me less than 5 minutes to get this bad boy going. GetSunday.com for the perfect lawn this year. It's GetSunday.com. Now, go there. And GetSunday.com/JMV is what you type in. You're going to get $20 off your custom lawn plan at checkout. Again, GetSunday.com/JMV for $20 off your custom lawn plan at checkout. Don't worry about these services that are going to cost you a lot of money. This is awesome, and you can do it easily on your own. GetSunday.com/JMV to get $20 off your custom lawn plan at checkout today. That's GetSunday.com/JMV.
Hey guys, looking for a reason to spend 3 days on the couch watching basketball? Schedule your vasectomy at Urology of Indiana for a Thursday or Friday, then sit back, relax, and catch some games over the weekend while you recover. It may be the only time your wife approves of hoarding the couch and the remote control. My vasectomy at Urology of Indiana was simple and took only about 15 minutes. Soon after, I was out the door and on my way home. During my recovery, I took ibuprofen and was back in my office in 3 days. The docs at Urology of Indiana are board certified and perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. They are pros at what they do, and they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. If you've been putting off your vasectomy, now is the time. You'll never have a better excuse to watch basketball.
Call Urology of Indiana or visit vasectomyindy.com for information and to schedule an appointment. That's vasectomyindy.com.
Last year, our average client received almost $40,000 at closing from an easy cash-out refinance. TheHomeLoanExpert.com.
NMLS number 1326241.
Hubler Auto Group has 8 brands to choose from and thousands of vehicles in stock. Plus, all new vehicles come with a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty included. Visit drivehubler.com.
Join me on Monday. Indiana and Purdue go to baskets this weekend. We're going to talk with Fish about it. Also, NFL talk with the great Sean Salisbury. Join me Monday.
The Ride with JMV.
I fart in your general direction. Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of elderberry.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Tucker Barnhart, Bob Lovell podcast, 1075thefan.com. Tucker, before a workout with the Reds in Arizona, called in. We appreciate that very much. Mike Wells, top of the hour. Danny Lopez, the Pacers in the 4 o'clock hour as well. And we got Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, coming at you. IU and Purdue set to get ready tomorrow afternoon. JMV, Seymour is allowing 4,000 fans for each game tonight. They will clear out the gym after the first game. Litzy writes this, JMV, our sectional is 100% capacity, no limits. That's Frankton and Alexandria, Lapel and Wapahani. Tonight. Jeremy Bullard writes, anyway, Shelbyville can beat Center Grove. What's Center Grove on the season, 12-8? It's from Matt. Hey, JMV, I'm tired of watching poor basketball from the Pacers and IU. I'm not watching anymore. Hey, listen, if you're a Pacer fan, I would suggest you go ahead and decompress this weekend, too. It may not help, but go ahead and decompress. Like, if you watched them last night, it was maybe, I hate saying this, it's still a triple-double, and who cares, right? But it wasn't a good-looking triple-double. It was like, oh, that was a triple-double? With Domas Sabonis last night. 5 of 15, 10 and 10. So he was 10 across the board. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. And it wasn't good. Malcolm Brogdon with an awful night last night. 4 of 14, 10 points, 0 for 5 from the floor. That's their home hardwood, too. 0 of 5. And I don't know how many damn layups they missed last night. How many layups they missed? 5? 6? So, yeah, I think everybody needs to decompress on that, too, and see if they can come out and do anything and try to sustain a little bit of anything with that incredibly tough schedule and see what they might look like once LeVert gets back. Just a thought. Jonathan is at 239-1070. Hello, Jonathan. How are you?
Hey, great, JMV. By the way, Bob Lovell sounds exactly like Owen Wilson. I don't know if anyone has ever said that. He said something about a silver alert, so I'm guessing he's a lot older, but that's...
Yeah, he's a lot older than Owen Wilson, for sure. Yes, he is.
I was like, is he in the frat pack?
He was.
Vince Vaughn in them?
No, he's older than that too. So he might have been in the Rat Pack, the original Rat Pack back in the '60s.
Oh man, that's mean.
No. I think he would understand that. He would get it. Go ahead.
Yeah, he'd get it. Anyway, I was calling because I think what the Colts are thinking this year, probably even now with free agency coming up, probably hinges around one college player. And I think it's probably Christian Darrisaw, the left tackle from Tech, at 21.
Might be right. It's going to be somebody in there. There's going to be somebody in there, I think, of the left tackle variety for real. Even if they have to trade down, I think, Jonathan, that's probably going to be a strategy to look forward to.
Right. It could all blow wide open if he's taken before that, because it affects how they're thinking about who to sign in free agency, at what positions, and what order and stuff. Vera Tucker seems to be a guy who could play guard if you slide Nelson over, but he could be a great offensive left tackle too.
I'm excited when you say slide Nelson over. Just nobody else gets excited except me regarding that. So.
Oh yeah, I think I said before that I agree with you on that. I just don't. I don't know enough about the position.
And don't sweat it. I mean, to me, it was a flexibility idea that I tried to come up with. But listen, I know that it's outrageous and more than likely not going to happen. I do. I understand it. So it's all good.
Yeah, make a lot of things easier though if they did.
I've always thought it'd give them a little bit more flexibility than they presently have. But
at 21, what do you think of Rousseau? That's just my last question.
I don't know. I thought like Eichenberg of Notre Dame was going to end up being the pick there, or if he, obviously he's at the end of the first round, he might end up being a guy they trade back for. That was kind of my dart at a dartboard selection right there.
Oh, okay. I thought they could get Eichenberg at 54, but
see, I don't know where I've seen him. It's before round 2. I don't know, Kyle. Have you seen him for the most part before round 2? That's where I've seen him on some of these mocks.
I've seen him, late first, and then I don't think he'd be there by 54.
54 seems to be a little bit late to me too.
Oh, okay. That Radunes guy maybe at 54.
Yeah, that's
North Dakota State.
Yep. Hey, Jonathan, thank you for the call. You have a great weekend too.
You have a great weekend.
It's Jonathan right there. Yeah, I haven't seen Eichenberg that much lower. Listen, I've looked at maybe 2 or 3 different ones. Hey, Shane writes this: I appreciate the fact that Brogdon wanted to be here in Indy, but it's just not working out. He stalls the offense, holds the ball, and then typically has a bad outcome in those situations. He shot it well the night before. He was horrendously horrendous last night. But slowing it down, not balling, that's something, too, Shane, you bring up that you saw the night before. You saw that on Wednesday night against Cleveland. They had a couple of maybe 3 24-second shot clock violations because he kind of dribbled and ate the ball too long. One, if you remember, was a corner pass that he made a tick too late to Miles Turner where he knocked down a 3 and it didn't count. But a couple of other beyond that violations where he just kind of eats the ball. And that has been problematic. Shane, thank you for the tweet. Quick one will return. Mike Wells, ESPN.com's got a slow jam re-entry and all the Colts conversation you can muster coming up at 239-1070 next.
It's the Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Because a lot of people look at this as low risk. I couldn't disagree with that more. This is a risk. If this goes off the rails and Carson Wentz plays the entire season, now all of a sudden you are giving away your first-round pick in 2022. And now you have a very internal question about, is Carson Wentz ever going to be back to wherever you think he can get to?
The Fan Morning Show with Jeff and Big Joe.
Weekday mornings at 7
on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, it's John here for LD Smith Plumbing. That's Lance and his team, the locally owned plumbing experts at LD Smith Plumbing, and the only people that I'm going to trust. In fact, I've already had done that, and I've utilized that hassle-free peace of mind and knowing that if something goes wrong, that Lance and the team can take care of it at 317-284-9526 and get it done right away. I'll set the stage for you. So a couple of weeks ago Sunday, when temperatures spiked and it was really cold, cold. I was getting ready to play basketball on a Sunday morning. I'm in the bathroom, and all of a sudden, there is no water. So instead of freaking out, which I normally would do, I remembered Lance and his team at LD Smith Plumbing have my back at 317-284-9526. I kept calm, gave him a call. Kevin came down within an hour. This is on a Sunday morning, mind you. Had the thing fixed by 11. I got up to Westfield at the basketball center to watch a Laney game by noon. That's peace of mind. That's hassle-free. That's exactly what I want with my plumbing company, and you should too. Large, small, emergencies, 24/7, 365. They are there for you at LD Smith Plumbing at 317-284-9526. For my listeners right now, you mention my name, and they'll slice $50 off any service. Just mention my name, 317-284-9526 for the best online. LDSmithPlumbing.com today.
Hammer here for Indy's hometown sportsbook, Bet Rivers, BetRivers.com. You don't have to wait for the tournament to make some money on college basketball. And nobody gives you better odds than Bet Rivers does. And when you win, with Rush Pay, you get your money faster than the competition. I've played all the other sports betting apps, and nobody takes care of the player like Bet Rivers does. Sign up today. Must be 21 and over, a resident of Indiana, and if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg. All March, Indy is tourney town, and our mascot, Brian Baby Boomer Weddle, is in tryouts to make the team.
Hey, Coach Rob, can I stop running now?
Listen up, Baby Boomer. We have a strong game plan to win this month, and if you want to make the team, you got to keep up with the plays. Our first play is $15,000 off 2020 F-150s.
$15,000 off F-150s. That's a great play.
And we're running $8,000 off 2020 Escapes.
$8,000 off 2020 Escapes. Another great play. Wait, how many plays are we running at once?
That's a coaching decision, Brian. We also have over 200 nearly new vehicles ready to get in the game.
And we can give you the assist with $2,000 more for your trade.
Now you got it. I'm promoting you to team captain. Keep that mascot suit, though.
Why?
Because you're doing both jobs now, captain and mascot.
I think that's impossible, Rob.
There's no I in Estes, Brian. All March, get $15,000 off any 2020 F-150 or $8,000 off any 2020 Escape. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
Do you need air conditioning service and need to find a local well-trained expert you could trust like Bassett Services Heating and Air Conditioning? Find that American Standard air dealer at IndyHomeComfort.com.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
The NBA's best meet in Atlanta for the All-Star Game. Sunday evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Whenever we need a brilliant insight, he's available at the drop of a hat.
Hey, Mom! I'm done with my segment!
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Andy Moore on the Automotive Group Hotline. This is what we like to reference as the Mike Wells slow jammery entry. There is no walk-up, talk-up until I hit the on button and bring on the air from ESPN.com our friend Mike Wells. Mike, take it away.
Oh, yeah. Hey, this is a long entry one right here, Jay.
I'm gonna let you sit on this.
Ignite. Oh, you got my boys Troop up in here today.
I got you, a little Troop. You mentioned Troop last week.
Yes.
I didn't give you the spread my wings and fly away stuff. A little bit deeper than that.
Hey, you went deep on this one. It's not all I do is think of you, but hey, this is my second favorite Troop song.
I Will Always Love You.
Yes. I will always love you. Did you see them on Unsung?
What'd you say?
Did you see them on Unsung episode of Truth?
I have not, huh? Is that pretty good?
Oh yeah, it was one of my favorite ones. But yes. Hey, I will definitely take this one. I was gonna text you today.
Yep.
And I was gonna say let's go with some Keith Sweat, maybe some Make It Last Forever or something, man.
Well, we can do that. We'll do
hey.
that next week. But the Troop I thought was going to be pretty good because you requested that last week for the JMV Takeover.
Yes. Hey, I will take it, though. I'm never going to turn down my boys' Troop. I'll never ever turn them off.
I'm telling you, they don't make groups like that anymore. They just don't have them anymore. That's so unfortunate. That's just greatness right there.
Everybody's a solo act now. There's no such things. I mean, listen, you can run down Guy, Drew Hill. We talk about Jagged Edge, Jodeci, New Edition, Troop, Color Me Bad. I Want to Sex You Up.
Oh.
I mean, the list goes on. Hey, the list goes on and on. But oh man, you know what? I might have to watch some New Jack City just so I can see hear him talk about the pimple on the booty, man. Anything about the booty?
That is so good. So did you think that Judd Nelson and Ice-T were good as partners there? Did that fit? So
yeah, because listen, because Judd was kind of I wouldn't even say he was normal. I mean, Ice-T was the hard.
Yeah,
good, brother. Even though back then I was thinking of Ice-T on the West Coast, I wasn't thinking about him on the East Coast.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, we knew Ice-T from Power, the CD Power with Coco on the front there, and nobody paid a damn bit of attention to the music. Just face that. And then Colors, right? And what he had on the soundtrack of Colors back in 1988 was a big deal. So.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the case, man. Hey, by the way, man, shout out to the Hot Shots girls for winning your bracket tournament. Even though you had to play both games on Monday, shout out to the girls for winning it. So tell Laney and crew, I say congratulations on it.
They had a fantastic time. They did, and we're still going strong. So when Layla's done, coming up after tomorrow, we got a little Monday practice set. We got some times next week, so we'll be ready to rock.
All right, yeah, I will touch base with you on that. I tell you, she's excited to join the crew down there. Hopefully, when she sees y'all next week, she'll be talking about a championship too. So we'll see what happens.
It will. What time do you guys play tomorrow?
She plays at 3, and if they win, they play at 5 up at Finch Creek. My son plays at 1, and if they win, they play at 3 up in Grand Park. So I'm gonna need the 5th grade girls to go ahead and win that first game. Because hopefully we win our first game, and we can be there for the championship game at 5 o'clock. Fingers crossed that it happens.
And then you got to have your fingers crossed you don't get behind a slow-moving vehicle on 32, right?
Oh yeah, hey, listen, because you will hear somebody be tweeting me talking about, hey, there's some guy out there upset over some tractor trailer going slow on 32 to get over to Finch Creek.
I went to the wrong place last week. I went to Pacers, and it was at Finch, and I realized that about 25 minutes before the game, and I pedal to the metal, baby, all the way. Pedal to the metal to get there on time.
So some people were like, oh, there's some jackass.
There he is,
driving crazy over there.
There he is. I know I got over there in time, but it's if you miss the mark and go to the wrong spot, it's tough to it's tough to get somewhere on time. It really is.
No, it is. So, but now, like I said, congrats again to the girls, and we're looking forward to joining y'all for the spring and summer session.
Well, they are very excited. We just practiced last night at the Duke Barn. Shout out to Mike Duke for letting us in there, and we told them that Layla's going to be there, and they're very excited, and we'll have a blast this summer. I promise you that. So, an absolute blast.
Love it, man.
Hey,
so,
do you have any articles in the can as far as getting ready for possibilities where the Colts might hard target? I know we're still, now less than 2 weeks away from the start of free agency for real, but is there anything that you kind of targeted yourself and maybe put in the can a little bit in preparation for what you think the Colts are going to end up doing beginning a couple of weeks, a little over a week and a half from today?
We got some stuff at ESPN as far as from all 32 writers coming up. I believe it's later next week on the free agency side of things. I'm still not sold that Ballard's going to go out and just swing for the fences.
I wouldn't expect it either. I agree with you.
Yeah, I know he doesn't have his cupboard full of draft picks, but Chris Ballard just doesn't seem to operate. I mean, now that the quarterback situation is hopefully taken care of, you would think, okay, the next priority is they're going to look at, all right, and left tackle, unless they say, all right, we're going to go with Quentin Nelson, but we're going to keep it hush-hush and see how it goes in minicamp. But then pass rusher. pass rusher is next on my list, in my opinion. I think they got to find to address it. When you look at that market, is there anybody you say, all right, Ballard maybe should kind of extend it a little bit to try to spend some money? I look at a guy like Shaq Barrett down in Tampa. He's one of the primary ones out there. There's a couple other decent ones, but I don't see anybody say, all right, you got to get this guy $25-30 million guaranteed.
Well, I mean, and that's just the way that it is. I still think this is still going to be bargain shopping type of thing going on here, without question.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting.
And the other part about it is, Mike, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if you're not swinging for the fences, do you bring back for another year what you've already had, who's a free agent too, and Justin Houston? Because people bring at me all the time, what about Ngakoue? What about Kerrigan? What about guys like that? And I'm thinking, if you're going to go that direction, or what about Clowney? And I know Clowney is younger, but if you're going to go that direction, as far as overall production is concerned, wouldn't you maybe just go back to what you had?
Yeah. I would definitely, I look at not only Houston but also Danico Autry. I will look and say, okay, do we want to run it back with him? Because I think as far as on the defensive side of balls, I think guys that are more inclined that are going to look elsewhere. I think Anthony Walker, because his snaps have just gone down, and Bobby Okereke is the heir apparent at middle linebacker. I think Xavier Rhodes, his desire, he banked on himself for that 1-year deal, and it worked out for him. I think somebody's going to give him a lot of money, more money than what the Colts want to give him. The person I'm curious about, though, is T.Y. Hilton. You think about he's tweeted a lot this week, and I know it's only been on maybe 2 or 3 times, but for T.Y. Hilton, that's a lot of tweets in 1 week for T.Y. Hilton, and it's all in reference to some type of free agency stuff.
Yeah, the one from earlier this week that stood out was the whoever I pick. And again, I don't think anybody is really going to know, because you don't know what the market value is going to be. It would seem like that. It seemed like maybe he's going to find some as I don't want to say a tweener, but kind of a moderately popular wide receiver out there, and maybe a world where either a guy, ends up getting too much money, you don't want to participate, or something like that. As far as, any type of bidding war is concerned, it seems like his value might be raised by virtue of that alone, and then obviously a declining salary cap in which we've seen.
I think T.Y. Hilton's overvalued on himself. He thinks he's going to get a better offer than what's out there, in my opinion. And this is no offense to T.Y., but the guy's going to be 32 years old in November. 32 years and old. He's battled injuries the last couple of years, and the reality is the production just hasn't been there. The production has dipped some. So I would not be shocked if T.Y. Hilton came back to the Colts. If he ended up coming back here for one more contract for a couple of years, and then that's it.
Somebody had tweeted me earlier, and I didn't see this, that the NFL Network has predicted that the Colts will go after Allen Robinson. I don't buy that at all.
I like it.
I love the idea, but I
like it.
Yeah, me too.
Listen, Allen Robinson had over 1,000 yards with Mitchell Trubisky as his quarterback in Chicago last year.
I know.
And Mitchell Trubisky, in the words of our good buddy Michael Grady, is hot boo-boo, man. He's not a good quarterback. So he was able to get over 1,000 with him. That means he's pretty darn good, in my opinion.
I would agree with you on that, too. I think even if you bring back T.Y., and even if you have your fingers crossed that Paris Campbell is finally going to be healthy for a year, you can't count on it. Therefore, you still have to do a little bit more than just that, right?
Yeah, you think about it. Okay, Michael Pittman, you cross your fingers and say, all right, Paris, can this be the year that you're finally healthy? Because as talented as he is, he's more known for his injuries his first 2 years. Zach Pascal, I think Pascal's an all-around wide receiver, but he's not going to wow you and just dominate a game, in my opinion. And then beyond that, I can't even think of who else is on the roster wide receiver.
I'm going to ask you this. Desmond Patman, who apparently is working out with Jacob Eason and Michael Pittman Jr. in Southern California. They're going to be joined reportedly by Carson Wentz at some point. How legit of an option is Desmond Patman going to be in 2021?
Here's the thing, Jay. I don't know a damn thing about that.
We haven't seen him. To me, he's as big a mystery in some respects as what Jacob Eason is.
Jacob Eason is, yeah. Clearly, with no very little training camp, and with teams basically trying to get their starters ready for the regular season, no preseason games. I know nothing about Desmond Patman. I know nothing about Jacob Eason. So I can't even say, he's definitely going to be in the mix. And of course, if you ask somebody in the Colts organization, they're going to say, we have high hopes for him. He's a talented wide receiver, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to sit there and poo-poo on Desmond Pittman. They're gonna speak highly of him.
What do you think that Michael Pittman Jr. can end up being? Do you have somebody that's previous that people would know that you think he's going to turn into?
I'm sipping the Michael Pittman Kool-Aid, man. I am sipping on that bad boy because I like what he has. I like his size, his ability to go up and get the football. I like his speed. I don't want to compare him to anybody, but I do believe he's going to continue to get better and better. And I like what I saw of him last season. So he's on his way. He is on his way to taking a leap, in my opinion.
So Mike Wells of ESPN.com. He is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. It's kind of weird. You look at this Colts team, and while other teams are, having kept casualties, or at least we know at some point they're going to announce those casualties, it looks like that this Colts situation, not a lot of bad contracts, but, man, a lot of headway to make and a lot of important positions that you ultimately are going to have to fill. So, I mean, you look at that as a good thing, but there is so much work to do at so many important positions this offseason that you have to hope goes right.
And that's why I can't – when people keep saying, oh, yeah, the Colts are Super Bowl contenders, yes, they have pieces on this roster, but I don't know how anybody can say the Colts are Super Bowl contenders right now. When you look at the holes they have to fix in that roster, so they have to fill some spots. Like we just talked about wide receiver, pass rusher, finding a fifth starting offensive lineman, a third linebacker to start with Okereke and Darius Leonard. And you got to hope that the young safeties, Kari Willis and Blackman, continue to grow up. So there's still plenty of pieces that they have to figure out before you can say Super Bowl contenders.
All right, so what do you think? Russell Wilson going to end up getting traded?
No.
I can't see it. I now see more. I'm kind of getting talked into more Deshaun Watson ultimately being traded than I am Russell Wilson, because people suggest this all the time, Mike, that, maybe the Colts should have waited. Had the Colts waited, maybe now you get, a chance at Russell Wilson and not reportedly being the Saints and the Cowboys and I forget the other teams that were involved in this as well. But to me, I have a hard time believing that's going to ultimately be real, especially with Pete Carroll, who's an older coach, and having to start new with the quarterback position there in Seattle and maintain in that particular division in the NFC West. It just doesn't seem real. It doesn't seem like reality to me that that's going to happen.
And there's no heir apparent at quarterback in Seattle. They don't have anybody say, okay, we can plug in this person to a start if we trade Russell Wilson. I mean, that would be dumb on Seattle's part to trade Russell Wilson, because he is the reason why the Seahawks continue to get to the playoffs now that they no longer have the Legion of Boom out there in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah, I just can't see it happening. I can't. But again, I look back and a lot of people suggest that maybe the Colts should have waited a little bit, but I don't think so. I think you wait. And a lot of people had suggested, including Tony Dungy, if you remember, that when they were asked the question, who do you think is going to start at quarterback in 2021 for the Colts, many had suggested Jacoby Brissett. And I thought that was the only way that would ever happen if you swing and miss this offseason at other quarterbacks, and that's your fallback, which nobody wanted to see.
Well, yeah, I mean, nobody wanted to see it, and if the Colts went back to Jacoby Brissett as a starting quarterback, that basically meant they were not prepared to find a replacement for Phillip Rivers, in my opinion, because if Jacoby Brissett was good enough, he would have been starting from the get-go. They wouldn't have went out and got Phillip Rivers. They said he would have. Jacoby Brissett is what he is. He's not a starting quarterback on a team capable to make a deep run in the playoffs. He's a decent quarterback, but not one that's going to take you to the next level. And I like Jacoby as a person.
He is Mike Wells of ESPN.com. What do you think they do at backup quarterback? You think they go out and get some sort of Band-Aid type of Brian Hoyer veteran to bring in here to back up?
Yeah, and who that is going to be, I don't know, but I don't think they're ready to hand over the reins to Jacob Eason quite yet. I think they go out and get, like you said, a Hoyer-type guy, let him come in and sit behind Carson Wentz, and hope that Carson Wentz does not deal with injuries and does not sneak up the football field, and then you don't have to worry about ever playing that backup quarterback.
So Mike Wells with us. Mike, of course, used to cover for the Indianapolis Star, the Pacers, and I'm kind of curious. The Pacers and obviously ownership, they've never wanted to, sink a season or tank a season or trade out a season prior to the trade deadline. You look at little to no fans amidst a pandemic, where they are right now, hoping to get Levert back at some point here after the All-Star break, but who knows when, because nobody's holding their breath on TJ Warren. People have suggested to me now is the time if you really want to try to get a notable higher lottery draft selection. Should they contemplate that at this point in time?
See, I'm not a big fan of teams tanking. I mean, these are grown-ass men who are getting paid a lot of money. They need to go out and do their jobs. I'm not a big fan of tanking, but I will tell you this. The franchise is definitely at a crossroads. They got to figure out what they want to do, what direction they're going to be. Do they start cleaning the house with trades this offseason and stuff? What are they going to address? Because what have they lost? What 5 of the last 6, 4 of the last 5 or something?
Yeah.
That they lost, and it took them to come from 19 points down at Cleveland on Wednesday night, not to go over on the road trip. So this franchise is in a tough spot. Is there any hope of TJ Warren coming back?
Well, I said I don't think anybody's holding their breath. I mean, they say closer. I know Jay Michael was on here last week talking about how it was closer to the playoffs if they're in the playoffs, and that doesn't seem like that's going to – it seems like if it's that long, then just let it go, kind of like what they did with Sabonis, I guess, inside the bubble last year.
Yeah, I don't know. They definitely it's a tough spot. All right, here I'm gonna put you on the spot, Jay. You know where I'm going with this.
I know.
How long do they hold on to your boy Miles, man?
Everybody, I know where everybody's going to go on this. But can we sit here and have an honest conversation about how Miles is a better big man built for the NBA and the style that is playing right now than Sabonis?
Oh no, his style is better
especially with what they want to do here.
And I'm gonna tell you now, clearly Sabonis is balling out. He is a double-double, triple-double machine waiting to happen every single game. There's a reason why he's going down to Atlanta to play the All-Star game. So I'm not killing Sabonis' game and stuff. But yeah, no, Miles' game is better suited for the NBA side. Get up and down the court, a stretch bit man that can, pick and pop and shoot the 3-point shot. I know some people who got a game like Sabonis and stuff, and I'm not talking about me, but are capable to do some pick and pop. So yeah, his game is suited for it. Unfortunately, at some point though, you got to say, all right, we got to try to trade somebody and get something back.
Well, and there's no doubt. I mean, they've already tried to trade him once. They tried to trade him to the Snake and almost got snaked and then pulled back. So I wouldn't doubt that Pritchard is going to do it, but I don't know if it's going to be. It won't be before, to me. It won't be before the trade deadline. It'll be at some point, but won't be. But this defense, I'm sorry, this defense is a joke. They can't stay in front of you, can't guard you on the perimeter, and all they have left is when Miles meets the basketball. And then he had a great night last night, really on both ends. Had a great night against the Denver Nuggets, and of course nobody says anything about that. That's the kind of crap I get tired of. I mean, it's always the focus of their problems. And believe me, he shouldn't be the single focus of their problems. Not even coming from somebody like me that has tried to support him. I mean, you get a situation like last night, and he was really good. He really helped. And the problem was the guy that had the triple-double, and maybe one of the more ugly triple-doubles in NBA history. I mean, Sabonis has not been good lately.
And I'm not saying this to say Miles is garbage. I like Miles' game. I'm not sure how much better he's going to get offensively. But at some point, the Patriots going to say, all right, you know what? Who's our best trade candidate? Are they going to trade Sabonis and try to get more from him? I mean,
is the value more for Sabonis or Turner? Just looking around the NBA.
I don't have a dollar figure amount, but if you want a player to suit it for the NBA today, you're going with Miles, in my opinion. You're just like you and I have been talking about. You go with Miles because his game is better suited for the way the game is played right now. I mean, could you imagine him playing alongside somebody in Phoenix with Devin Booker and Chris Paul?
Well, I'm thinking about this. I think about Boston. I think about where he about ended up in Boston, where you got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and you don't have to be a primary scorer. You can be a secondary scoring option and a defensive player. How much that would help their situation. So I said yesterday, I kind of hope that ends up happening so he can shove it up the rear end of everybody that always gripes and complains about him around here. I think that'd be funny.
Oh yeah, it would, because I can only imagine what your Twitter feed is right now.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's okay. It's nothing right now because he had a good night last night. It's only when I mean, really, he can score in double figures and get 6-7 rebounds and have 3 blocks, and people are still going to complain about it. So.
Well, you know how it is, man. When things are going good, they don't want to say anything, but when he's thinking up the court.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love the morning show too, but I think Jeff maybe mentioned it once, last night. Triple double for Sabonis, and it was 5 of 15 and 10, 10 and 10 across the board.
5 of 15. You can. Hey, listen. If I'm alone in the Nuggets, I'm like, okay, you can have a triple double going 5 of 15 from the field, shooting below 50%. You can have that and run with it.
I tell you what, there's a bigger question here. I mean, is Brogdon a fit? I mean, long term, is Brogdon a real fit? Can we not start asking that question a little bit too? And the people are going to start asking about Bjorkgren too, because this defense has been that bad.
Well, basically, it sounds like there's a lot of puzzle pieces that may not be fitting in right now.
Yeah, and listen, I do recognize that they're missing 2 dudes that average nearly 20 points per game right now. Yeah. So that's also something to recognize. But you have to live and talk in the now.
Exactly. By the way, you know what? I don't even want to talk about that game. Is there a certain game going on between 2 in-state schools this weekend?
There is. It's IU and Purdue.
Series.
Hey. Yeah. My friend John Martin sent me this, and I don't know what this means, but see if you follow me on it. IU Alumni Association sent me some free stickers for a potential donation out of me. This is the 3rd one in a month. I think that Archie Miller buyout process has started.
Wow. Because what? Hey, how many in a row has Purdue beaten
8
IU right now?
8. He is Archie is 0 of 8 against the Boilermakers. You've won as many games against Matt Painter as Archie has.
That is a damn shame. And based off my coaching record, that's not a good thing. I mean, 0 and 8. It'll be interesting. I'm not going to kill IU people because IU fans, they'll start coming at me on Twitter and everything if I start bad mouthing them. So I'm just going to stay quiet and not say anything.
Yeah, to me, if change isn't made, I don't know. It's got to be financial. That's the only way I can see it because this just hasn't worked. And there's really, I mean, it's not like you see a light at the end of the proverbial tunnel that all of a sudden it's going to click and work. You just don't see it.
You're exactly right. I just don't get it when it comes to IU, but we'll see what happens, man. Yep. I don't know.
Hey, best of luck to Layla and the Brownsburg team coming up tomorrow. You guys do it up right up north.
She just walked in the door. JMV said, good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Hey, brother, you have a good weekend, man.
You got it. You too. It's Mike Wells of ESPN.com on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. When he stopped talking, it sounded like somebody was on a CB in the background there. Hey, Matt writes this. Personally, I would trade Sabonis over Turner. No perimeter D or outside shooting from Sabonis. Need those 2 things in this modern-day NBA. I've got more than a couple of those. Trade Sabonis while his value is high. And believe me, I like Sabonis a great deal. Don't get me wrong. And this is not because I've always had the support of Miles. It's just when you look at it, again, in the modern-day NBA, if you're going to trade one, which one would it be? Yeah, listen, there are a lot of questions you can ask. I mean, Brogdon was awful last night. Brogdon, scored 29 in the game prior, showed really, really well in Cleveland. But, I mean, there are times when he eats the ball too much. There's no doubt. A lot of questions to ask. And I've said this, and I do believe it. I really do. You'd love to get a look at this group and how they might play when they have all their pieces, because it's been forever since we've seen this team with all their pieces. But I don't know, with TJ Warren's injury in mind, if time is going to allow that. This is what you're watching here in the second half is typical of I've been down this path before. Very typical. We'll go right down to the wire. What I'm talking about is in the Mo Valley. Arch Madness right now. Indiana State has a 2-point lead, 40-38 over Evansville. Shout out to Evansville. You know I love you, but come on now. Not hitting shots, long, drawn-out possessions, no flow, and a 1-point advantage with 11 minutes to go in the second half of Arch Madness. I can't remember the last time I sat here and, they won a game while I sat here and they played. It's just like this. Tyreek Key showing up, though. Tyreek Key normally does show up. But they can't. They got zero flow going on offensively. And you get Evansville, I think a 9-win team. You get Evansville the opportunity to hang around. Good for them. And that's exactly what Indiana State's giving them, the opportunity to hang right now. In what could be the final game of Greg Lansing. And I think if they lose, it is going to be the final game of Greg Lansing. I mean, complete and utter discombobulation right now. And up one. Quick break. We shall return. Danny Lopez works for the Pacers. He's going to give us the lowdown on how they're going to be participating with the NCAA tournament here with their facilities and more. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, top of the hour. I'll continue with these basketball updates for you. And anything goes in the 6 o'clock hour. 93.5, 107.5, and 1070. The Fan.
When you place a wager with William Hill Sportsbook, every sports moment is even more interesting. And we have a special 2021 offer to help you bet on all your favorite sports risk-free. Download the William Hill Sportsbook app, and when you sign up, you can get started with a risk-free bet of up to $2,021. Use promo code RADIORF. Must be physically present in Indiana. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. Let's make it interesting with William Hill Sportsbook.
Don't confuse basketball madness with haircut madness. Treat your head to the best. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood and ask for the King's treatment. It's a precision haircut followed by an invigorating scalp massage to die for. As if that's not enough, we even follow it up with a hot lather neck shave and a hot towel treatment. Last but not least, our talented stylists deliver a neck and shoulder massage to cap your royal treatment. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood on State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Lady Jane's in Greenwood, it's wicked awesome.
Hey, it's John here for Diamonds Direct. Always at the forefront when it comes to trends and fashion. It is just like me. Fancy shaped diamonds. That's the thing, or at least that's what they tell me, because I have to go by what Diamonds Direct and the educators of diamonds tell me all about their fancy shapes, emerald cuts, princess cuts, ovals, pear shapes, cushion cuts. Problem is, most jewelry stores don't carry a lot of these shapes, and the ones that do tend to, you got it, stick you. Overcharge you. Not at Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct keeps fancy shaped diamonds in stock all the time for you. If you need a spectacular gift giving idea and you want it as hassle-free as possible, then you're just like me. We're one and the same, and that's where Diamonds Direct comes in. That's where you get the best selection. That's where you're going to get unprecedented warranties and guarantees and a price tag to match. An engagement ring, maybe for that taking of the relationship to the next level, birthday gift, anniversary, graduation gift to make it special. There's one place. It's Diamonds Direct, the only jeweler I recommend. It's a Keystone at the Crossing, the official jeweler of the Colts.
Whether you're ready for your COVID-19 vaccine or looking for the right testing options for your family, our Kroger Health team of pharmacists and nurse practitioners are here to help. Our suite of solutions is one of the most comprehensive in the industry, trusted by frontline workers around the country. Visit Kroger.com/COVIDcare to learn more and schedule an appointment at a Kroger store near you.
Hey, John here for Andy Moore Buick GMC. Yeah, in Fishers 131st and State Road 37. I think everybody needs a ride like mine that is absolutely fantastic, and that is the GMC Acadia SLE. 0 down payment and $249 per month. That's an awesome deal. Let Eric Wilson tell you all about it. Let his fine staff work with you on the best deals possible. Listen, you want a great deal of ease if you're thinking about buying a new set of wheels here early in 2021, and I am here to help you out. Hopefully you take my advice. I'm right there with you. I love my Acadia. You will too. It's at Indiana's Best, and ask Eric Wilson all about it. Tell him, in fact, I sent you to Andy Moore Buick GMC in Fishers, 131st and State Road 37 today.
The Pro Football Hall of Fame invites you to Canton, Ohio this August for twice the fun in 21. Saturday, August 7th, we are honoring the Centennial Class of 2020, which features Edgerrin James. And on Sunday, August 8th, the Class of 21, headlined by Peyton Manning, will unveil their bronze busts and share their stories of triumph and dedication that led them to Canton, Ohio. Make your plans to be at the greatest gathering in football history by visiting profootballhof.com/enshrinement for twice the fun in 21.
Sports with Dan Dakich.
You can blame Archie all you want. Well, Archie runs it. No, he doesn't. This is totally on the player. Where's Rob Finnessy been? Everybody that coaches at Indiana ends poorly. I had a daddy show a picture of his son rebounding. Leadership, he said. Really? Real leadership is telling your teammate you're screwing it up. But no, Indiana's a group of individuals, and if you didn't see it last night, I cannot help you.
Dan Dakich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Smokey, this is not Nam. This is bowling. There are rules.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, somebody tell Cooper Neese to start turning the damn ball over. No, that wasn't him. I'm sorry. He didn't go after a rebound. Look at this. It's Tyreek Key. You go between your legs and bounce it off your foot out of bounds. Listen, turn it off. Turn it off. I'm going to have to turn it off. I'm not going to be able to sit here and watch this. That's stupid. I mean, listen, cross somebody over between your legs, but can you keep the handle? Don't dribble it off your foot out of bounds. I'm getting angry. You're not going to like me when I'm angry. Incredible. Inside the Lounge on YouTube Live, if you guys want to go there too. Hello to everybody. Andrew says, keep Sabonis, Warren Levert, TJ McConnell, and the Holiday brothers, and the rest can be traded. Sabonis is expendable. He's your best player. You will not make it out of the first round. JMV, are you finally feeling like an IU fan? This is like one time a year, I think, right? Normally this time of year. It is incredible to watch, though. I'm not going after. They're lucky that Evansville can't shoot. Hey, JMV, a tough road for the boys of Eastern Green tonight. Linton must be on a different well. I think actually my Thunderbirds beat them earlier this year. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it between the lines here. Maintain my composure. Hey, JMV, how about not trading either Sabonis or Miles and getting a coach that can build around your two best players? I remember a time when big men didn't bring the ball up the floor, and now it's a regular occurrence. I will say this. I don't know what the hell offense they were trying to run a couple of different times last night, but it was discombobulated, messy, and stupid. So, yes, that is true. I don't know what they were trying to do, but it wasn't working. How about being a team with a coach that simply makes it work and changes in the face of the NBA again? Be a trendsetter. Don't get rid of the only true talent on the team. I think once you get LeVert back and your other two, things will change drastically. Don't base your direction on what you're looking at now. That's Frederick. I think a lot of people would agree with that assessment. I just said that about waiting to see, what you have because you've never really seen what you have. JMV, even the Warren Levert back ceiling is low on this roster. Probably a 4th seed, but having two true defenders for the 2 and the 3 will help. Well, I don't have any defenders. Listen, I've been advocating Edmund Sumner play more just for his defense because he will occasionally stay in front of somebody. Anybody. All right, Scott is up next at 239-1070. Hello, Scott. How are you?
Great. On the show.
I'm just about ready to get pissed.
Yeah, well, I know the Pacers have a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But I'm going to talk about IU basketball because compared to IU, it's just, I mean, my gosh. I mean, I'm going back to the Knight era. You know, they fired. The problem to me goes all the way to the IU administration, because when they let Bobby go, which was a mistake, then they hired Sampson, who completely destroyed the program. Then after Sampson, they get Crean to come in and he kind of resurrected a little bit. He did a nice job with that, but then it leveled off. And then they hire Miller. Miller was worse than Crean. And I don't get what they're doing there. I just really don't.
Well, I mean, right now, what they're doing here is riding it out. I mean, that's to me financially riding it out, because I don't know what more needs to be shown. You know what I mean? Because I mentioned this a little bit earlier. It's not like on the landscape you got this great deal of hope. I mean, really, it looks worse next year. Yeah, other than financially, I wouldn't understand it, decision-wise.
I mean, I watch this team now, and his team is worse than they were at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, they are.
I'm sorry, but if you're a coach, isn't that kind of the bottom line? You're supposed to improve your team, and I don't get it. So.
Well, I'm right there with you, Scott. You're not the only one that doesn't get it, and you're not the only one that's really tired of it, for sure.
Thank you.
You got it. And shout out to the Boilermakers for being steady, getting better when you're supposed to get better. You got IU and Purdue coming up later on tonight. Another missed layup. Sweet. I got to give a shout out to Cooper Neese, who just hit a 3. Because I just cussed him out. I just cussed him out a minute ago. Now I got to give him a shout out. Oh, man. My life. I have so few things that I really legitimately, have my heart into, as far as, this being an alum of Indiana State is one. And, this time of year, you want them to, at the very least, get to the semifinal. They're missing everything right now. JMV, start TJ McConnell at point guard and pay him. Yeah, I mean, TJ McConnell is good for what TJ McConnell does. And listen, as much as I sit here and I gripe about how they look, and gripe about how they looked last night, and gripe about how they looked the night before getting down 19 and then having to be willed to a win by TJ McConnell, as much as I gripe about that, there is an understanding with me that you are missing two essential components to this entire equation. But it doesn't drive you any less nuts while you're watching it. JMV, someone needs to tell Scott to look at the last several years of Knight before calling it a mistake. Oh, this a mistake? Well, I think that's pretty easy. And I remember the last years of Knight. It was going downhill, but I think you would take that downhill over this downhill any day of the week. I'm just guessing. I'm guessing how IU fans, the vibe that they give me, I'm just guessing they would take that. I'm sorry, I'm not going to go to another break until they hit a shot. So we may be on here until 6. Go another break until 6. Good God. Oh, all right, quick break. Kyle's going to make me go here. 239-1070. You, Danny Lopez of the Pacers on the other side, and a salty host right now watching Arch Madness while doing a show on a glorious Friday. It's 93.5, 107.5, and 1070 The Fan.
Kids, tell your parents about Form's Sprout of the Month contest, where you could win $100 in a Sprout account. Details at 1075thefan.com.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices. Hubler has it. Hubler has it all.
Hubler has the savings, service, and selection you need. With over 2,500 cars, trucks, and SUVs at 14 Hubler locations. Hubler is Indiana's auto giant. Everyone wants Carfax one-owner vehicles. At Hubler, you can get the area's largest selection. Choose from Chevys, Fords, Buicks, GMCs, Acuras, Mazdas, Nissans, and Hondas for less than you'd expect. Plus over 200 used cars and trucks under $10,000 at drivehubler.com. And every Hubler certified pre-owned vehicle includes a 2-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. 2,500 vehicles, 14 locations, over 200 used cars and trucks under $10,000. And get Carfax one-owner vehicles with less wear and tear. It's easy to see why Hoosiers have trusted Hubler for over 50 years. Visit drivehubler.com. Hubler has it all. All offers with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Hey, it's JMV. Last year was tough, and even tougher on me had I not got into Franciscan Health to have my colonoscopy. Right, Dr. Mon?
That's right, JMV. Because you made your health a priority and didn't put off your colonoscopy, we were able to remove your precancerous polyps before they had a chance to turn into cancer.
I know people that put off their screening. I'm glad I didn't.
1 in 20 Americans will be diagnosed with colorectal cancer in their lifetime, and it's the second most common cause of cancer-related deaths. Putting off your routine colonoscopy is nothing to mess around with, but you can also take comfort that knowing that our cancer center is the first and only accredited program for rectal cancer care, and our team is committed to providing the highest level of care should you need it.
Don't put it off. Get the Franciscan Health. They make it so easy, and then you can sit around and watch hoop.
So don't put it off any longer. Go to franciscanhealth.org/colon-care to learn the facts.
Schedule an appointment, even on a Saturday. Tell them JMV sent you.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game and a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks is honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Wednesday at their Bourbon and Brews party. Get to Twin Peaks from 5 to 7 p.m. to experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. Twin Peaks, 82nd Street and I-69.
Hey, John, for LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526. Local and the best. Large, small, emergencies, 24/7, 365. It's Lance and his team at LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526. Just feel good because there may not be anything going wrong with your pipage right now. But unfortunately for us all, that time will come, and you will need somebody you can trust and count on, and somebody that's going to get there quickly, even on a Sunday like they did for me 2 weeks ago. That's Lance and his local team at LD Smith Plumbing. 317-284-9526. Mention my name, get $50 off any service right now. $50 off just by mentioning my name. LD Smith Plumbing, 317-284-9526. Online, ldsmithplumbing.com today.
Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. You'll find a massive number of basketball betting options, bet point spreads, money lines, and game totals directly from your mobile device. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we pay fast. We pride ourselves on our quick and easy payouts. Sign up now. We'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, more action, more fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Right now, save up to $150 off Nito, Toyo, or Pirelli tires. Only at Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Stress-free car buying begins when you let CarSnoop handle the dealer hassles for you while you stay anonymous. Build your ideal vehicle at carsnoop.com or download the app today.
If you're serious about selling your home, call Mark Dietel and his team today at 317-755-4232 or online markdietel.com. That's markdietel.com today.
Go trackside with Kurt Cabin and Kevin Lee. Tuesday night at 7 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Bullish Brand's hanging and banging with you until the 8 o'clock hour. Coming up, we have artists such as Living Color and the Fine Young Cannibals right now. Here's Roxette, The Look, 89.9 WROL.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, we're keeping an eye on Arch Madness, and I'm trying really, really hard not to be salty, pissed off host on a Friday, but I'm just about ready to be. Well, I missed the layups. 7 missed free throws. It's been a blast so far. It's been a blast. All right, 239-1070 is the number. I'm going to jump back to your calls in a minute. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, top of the hour. We have Anything Goes coming up in the 6 o'clock hour. Yeah, you guys are all about it today inside the lounge on YouTube Live. I appreciate you. Watching me do a show and watch Indiana State, my alma mater, at the same time, struggle. I like Todd Licklider a great deal. Todd Licklider's still the coach at Evansville. Evansville down 4 to Indiana State. Under 4 to go. Second half over at that crap house. What do they call that over in St. Louis? It used to be Scott Trade. It's crappy. What is it? The crap house. I don't think they call it that, but anyway, that's what's happening. We'll keep you updated. IU Purdue coming up tomorrow. More discussion on that, as I mentioned, with Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, top of the hour. On the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, representing the Pacers, Vice President of Corporate Communications. That is a long title for Danny Lopez, who joins us now. Does that fit on the card, or do we even carry cards anymore?
It does not fit on the card, and that's only half the title, so how about that?
Oh, you got the other half on the back.
Yeah, the other half's on the back. Yeah. What's up, JMV? How are you?
Good to hear from you. Hey, I'm excited about it. I know you guys. How much more work, good work, fun work, I'm sure, as you'll tell me on the air here, has it been, diagnostically speaking, helping put together what is going to go down here in the month of March? And it's not about the Pacers. It's about the NCAA tournament and all that's going down there. How much more work has that been?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously an unbelievable amount of logistics that go into making something like this work. There's never been anything like this, and just pulling something together like this is incredible. But the fact that you've got this many volunteers, this many people that are engaged, this many venues that are working together, I mean, to me, it just speaks volumes about what we've got going on here. It's not a surprise that if you're going to do it in one place, this is the place to do it. So it is pretty cool to be a part of it. We're excited about it. I know everybody's excited about it. The sun's shining. It's March. So, what can we ask for?
I'm telling you this, Danny. This is one of the best times of year here, and especially you look at the forecast next week, and I always loved it here. When the Big Ten tournament was in town and we had this Chamber of Commerce type of weather forecast that we got going, to me that makes it even extra special.
Yeah, for sure. And hopefully, people will get out, and the downtown is coming back, and people are, getting around. And even I was down there today at the office, and there's just more. There's an energy that picks up when it's time for basketball, and you feel it downtown. It's really palpable. So if the weather cooperates, and even if it doesn't, we don't have any crap house venues like you were talking about. They're all great venues.
I shouldn't have said that about the former Scott Trade. Yeah, or I forget what it is now, but I went there a couple of different times for my Sycamores, and maybe it was me being more salty about the loss than it was about the facilities.
We've got great places to watch basketball. I mean, obviously, Bankers Life is the world's greatest basketball arena, so we're excited. Whether you're inside or outside, it's going to be awesome.
Shout out to the Enterprise Center. I love Enterprise around here locally, so shout out to them. That's the Crap House Arena that I referenced a little bit early over in St. Louis. Danny Lopez with the Pacers joins us now. Did you guys was that the most in the building last night during that Denver game you guys have had as far as home schedule concerned?
Yeah, we're up to about 3,000 people in the building. And just getting to this point has been obviously a lot of work, and a lot of work by a lot of people, and a lot of planning. I mean, we've been planning this thing for months and months and months to try to make this as safe and healthy an environment as you can make it. And I tell you what, people are doing their part. They're taking the protocol seriously. They're wearing the mask. They're staying distance. They're doing all the things we need them to do. And so it helps because the players feel it. The atmosphere is better. It just makes a big difference to have people in the arena.
Yeah, man, it does. I mean, it really does. And I mean, it looks like everybody's having an enjoyable time. I mean, there's no question about that. Would you guys get updates about how you're able to upgrade the number or whatever? How often do you get those, Danny?
So the conversations with the state and city are constant, right? It's an ongoing conversation about what the numbers look like, and we're tracking it just like everybody else. We're approved for about 25%, which is right around about 4,500 people in the building. And as you guys know, we started with about 1,000 people early on. And what we keep repeating is this is crawl, walk, run. We're going to take it slow and make sure there's not backups at concessions, and people are seated properly, and all those kinds of things that we have to keep doing. But we're like I said, we're taking it one game at a time. But to be able to get 3,000 or just over 3,000 people in there is a big deal for us, and we'll keep watching it and keep ramping it up as we can.
How often is the venue going to be used for the NCAA tournament? How is it going to be used, I guess?
Yeah, so we've got the first and second rounds, and then we've got the Sweet 16. So we've got the first and second rounds with a bunch of other venues, and then we've got Sweet 16 with Hinkle. So it's gonna be really cool. And we've got, just in our building, JMV, we've got 43 games in 40 days. So when you factor in the Pacers, IHSAA finals, boys and girls, obviously the NCAA stuff, we've got 43 games in 40 days. I think yesterday I read that there was 170 games in 100 days in Indianapolis. In 30 days in Indianapolis. It's just a crazy amount of basketball. If you're a basketball fan, and if you're living in Indiana, you're a basketball fan. If you're a basketball fan, this is like heaven.
No, it is. It really is. Now, as far as heaven's concerned, I want to ask for your help here. I don't know if you can, and I'm going to put you on the spot because that's just, Danny, what I do.
Sure.
I have you on the I'll put you on the spot. I have been unable to secure, in this case, a credential to get in.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It's an NCAA question.
Well, I mean, can you give me a job title down there and just get me in? I'll get a shot and then come in.
You can have one of my 5 job titles. Why don't we do it that way? And honestly, I think it's one of those deals where there's going to be limited media in each of the arenas. Right. I think.
I'm kind of half-assed in jest here too, but kind of serious, just a little, maybe. I don't know, 20% serious, 80% in jest. I think.
Well, it's like I said, it's not only the hottest ticket, but it's one of those deals where because of COVID, there's necessary restrictions in place, and everybody's just trying to kind of work through that.
So Denny Lopez with us. Before I let you go, I want to ask too: was there a concert? Is there a concert scheduled coming up too?
We had Toby Mac.
You had it already. Okay.
We had Toby Mac, and we've got some other things that are still on the books, and we'll see if those stick or if they move down the road a little bit. But the nice thing is, I don't know if you're feeling it too, but it's palpable. Things feel better. People are getting vaccinated. We're not out of the woods by any means, and a lot of the venues are struggling, and people obviously have not completely bounced back, and there's a lot of work to do. But I do think that there's an energy, and people are starting to feel it a little bit, and hopefully, this helps. You can't be having kind of the eyes of the world for 3-4 weeks on Indianapolis. This is our chance to showcase the city, and not just from a basketball or sports strategy type thing, but also, all the things that we got going on here economically and culturally. This is the chance to really show off the city and the state. So it's an exciting time. There's a lot going on.
All right. So here's what I want you to do. Can you just get me like a Rick Fuson name tag, and I'll just wear that? I'll put on a suit jacket, and I'll act like I'm Rick Fuson.
I don't know if you can pull it off. Rick's one of a kind.
Yeah, just don't tell him that, but yeah, just see if we can do that. And I'll be like Rick Fuson for those games I want to be in the building for. How about that?
Sounds good. Let's see what we can do.
One final thing. I know I have to run here, but what's the next concert you have on the books?
So the next concert, I should probably know that off the top of my head, but I think the next concert right now is Alabama coming up. And then there's some stuff later on. Remember that we've got phase 2 the renovation, the Field House of the Future project picks up now in March. So we're going to have a little bit of a lull in the summer where we won't have events because we'll be doing construction once the Pacer season wraps up. So, which is another exciting thing. And JMV, as we move through this thing, we got to get you out there to see the new spaces. It's like a new building. It's an unbelievable facility.
Chad Buchanan's been promising to have a NBA 3-point line shoot off with me for months. And he blames the pandemic, and I say crap. So, I'm ready to go.
Let's make that happen. But as we move through there, it'd be great to get you out. Sure.
Hey, I've been really jealous because you've only gone on with Jeff Rickard. So I'm glad you decided to come on with me.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Thanks, Danny.
I appreciate it.
You got it, buddy. Thank you. Danny Lopez, who's the Vice President of Corporate Communications. Yeah, I'm just going to get a Rick Fuson name tag and I'm Rick Fuson. All right, what are you going to do? I'm allowed in here. Isn't it ironic that Alabama's still on the books, and if Alabama were playing in Alabama, you could probably fill the place up. Have they lifted their restrictions in Alabama? Can you go anywhere right now in Alabama, or is it Mississippi? All right. Let me tell you this. I'd go see Alabama. Indiana State moves on 53-43 by 10 over Evansville. It was far from pretty, and it is going to have to be a much better effort coming up tomorrow. I shall explain. The voice of the Hoosiers, I just feel good because they won. Voice of the Hoosiers, Don Fisher, is going to join us coming up next.
With parlays on Unibet Sportsbook, you can build your one-of-a-kind parlay that no one else on the planet could have thought of. Download the app or visit in.unibet.com. Sign up today to get $20 free and a $250 risk-free bet. Unibet Sportsbook. Crazy about the odds. Must be 21 or over to play and physically located in Indiana. Restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
Small business owners, is your internet making office tasks painfully slow? Are your file upload speeds sluggish? Are your video calls choppy? You need more speed. AT&T Business Fiber gives you up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. Faster upload speeds mean smoother, less glitchy video conferencing and faster file transfers. Visit att.com/businessfast or call 844-661-FAST to get our best price on our best service. Imagine it, up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. AT&T experts can help you upgrade to AT&T Business Fiber. Soon, you're going to love your internet. Call 844-661-FAST now. Comparison by Telogical Systems, 12-2020.
Connecticut and problem water affects everything in your home, including the smell and the taste of your hydration. That literally stinks. Connecticut to the rescue with the absolute best water possible, and they partnered up now. Joe, John, and Dennis, and Mike Holmes, professional contractor and television personality, to help make your water right. Get some great water. Just like Mike, just like me, just like Denary has in our home. And they're going to take $1,200 off your purchase of a Premier Series water softener and a K5 drinking water station. $1,200 off for you right now with Connecticut. 2 locations, northeast side, Castleton. Stop in. South side, US 31 and Southport Road. The Connecticut Water app online. For more info now, ConnecticutIndy.com.
Don't confuse basketball madness with haircut madness. Treat your head to the best. Get to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood and ask for the King's treatment. It's a precision haircut followed by an invigorating scalp massage to die for. As if that's not enough, we even follow it up with a hot lather neck shave and a hot towel treatment. Last but not least, our talented stylists deliver a neck and shoulder massage to cap your royal treatment. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men in Greenwood on State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. Lady Jane's in Greenwood, it's wicked awesome.
Join the Crew Car Wash Unlimited Club and wash whenever you want. Sign up at any of their locations to get unlimited washes and unlimited savings.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC HD2, W298BB, WIBC HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Butler closes out the regular season on the road at Creighton. Tomorrow at 4:30 on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon.
93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Hey, my Sycamores win. I feel good. It was an ugly game, but I guess who cares? Tyreek Key had 19. Indiana State moves on. Semifinals of the Arch Madness Mo Valley Conference Tournament coming up tomorrow. I believe they get Loyola, right? Loyola beat Southern Illinois in that first game of the day over in St. Louis. Still 2 games to come, coming up later on this evening over in St. Louis. Denny Lopez, Pacers president, corporate communications, talked about what is going on in the month of March downtown with Bankers Life Fieldhouse. I'd completely forgotten about still having concerts on the books. Forgotten about that. We talked to Danny. We talked to Mike Wells, Tucker Barnhart from Arizona, Reds catcher, the Gold Glove Award winning defending catching champ, joined us a little bit earlier from Arizona. And by the way, Dylan Windler was supposed to be on the show today from Perry Meridian and the Cavaliers. He had an NBPA meeting, so the Manta's going to join us coming up on Monday's show. Meantime, Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, a big win in West Lafayette tomorrow for a variety of reasons. IU and Purdue on the schedule to close out the regular season, and Don Fisher, the voice of the Hoosiers, joins us now. Hello, Don.
Hi, John.
Are you going to be in the building tomorrow?
I will be in the building
done.
tomorrow with my crew, so we will have a normal, well, somewhat normal broadcast. It won't be normal because there won't be students on hand, and they won't be screaming IU sucks.
Yeah, well, exactly. So that's it. Cardboard figures other than students, right, is what you're going to get. So
Yeah, unless they've got those little things that come out, in cartoons, little white things up there that inside the white things it says IU sucks on them.
They might, yeah. Yeah, I know that Painter, and he said this in the past, he obviously loves the backing and the paint crew and all that, but I don't think he's ever been down with that. So
No, he hasn't. Yeah. And to his credit, he's asked him to stop doing it, and I don't know if they have. I have no idea because the last time I was there, I think it happened. But
yeah,
you know what? It's all about the rivalry and all that kind of stuff. So sometimes I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it is. And the women, by the way, quick shout out to the women down in Bloomington, having a hell of a year.
They are playing great. They play Purdue tomorrow, too, to close out their regular season. They've got a chance, I guess. They still have a chance to win the Big Ten or tie for the Big Ten championship. I don't know how they work that with some of the schools that haven't played as many games because they've got a bunch of them in the women's field that haven't played the whole schedule. But all that said, Indiana's ranked 10th, the highest ranking in the history of Indiana women's basketball. And this group has been terrific this year. Terry Morin has done a remarkable job in the years that she's been at IU now.
Yep.
And you got to give her a lot of credit. It started slowly, but, man, it's built fairly fast. And honestly, they're a team to be reckoned with at this point.
Stirring the echoes of Kwesi Barnes and Tatiana Vessel of yesteryear.
That's right.
Yeah.
And in this particular case, you've got a girl named Holmes who's been terrific as a sophomore, and Allie Patberg, of course, is a senior on this team and a transfer from Notre Dame, was
really
from
good.
Columbus, Indiana, and she is really good. You're exactly right. She's a talented point guard.
Is her dad Rick or Ron of the Patberg twins of Southridge fame?
I believe that would be Ron.
Oh, man. Very good. I just had lunch with Tony Patterson, who was a part of the duo with Jeff Oliphant at L&M back in the day on Monday, and we were talking about the Patbergs because they lost to Southridge in '85 in that semi-state final, and that was the Patberg twins and Todd Yoakum and Andy Noss that got Southridge up to the Final Four here back in the day.
Yep,
so we were
back
talking.
in the day, that's exactly right.
And Tony Patterson was a fantastic player. Jeff Oliphant was a fantastic player. That was a hell of a time back then.
Yep. Oliphant came to IU and Patterson went to Purdue.
Yeah, and then I think Tony ended up at SMU, and there you go. I think Dave Bliss, was his first coach.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He was down there in that era, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's not talked about too much anymore, I don't think.
I think there's a reason that's not discussed all that much these days.
We didn't go too in depth on that, but I think Dave Bliss was his coach when he got at SMU, and I think John Shoemate from Notre Dame fame back in the day was his second coach down there. But no, we caught up at the Greek Isles restaurant there on the south side, which is always good. So with him, you look at what took place the other night, and it was incredibly disappointing. It was a scrum. It was a scrum. That's apparently how Michigan State is going to play, and apparently on a Tuesday night how the officials were going to go ahead and call it that way, right? Just kind of a scrum thing.
Yeah, honestly, and that's the way Michigan State, they always play physical. We know that. This year, and Archie talked about it before the ball game, that they're the foulingest team in the country. They are. It's legit. And they get out 4 or 5 guys out there, and they're going to bang you until you can't be banged anymore. And they certainly did that against Indiana, and there's just no doubt Indiana Trace couldn't get anything done in this ball game. 9 points, first time I think this year he's been held in single digits, and it was a tussle, and I will give Indiana credit. I mean, these players busted their tails. They really worked, despite the fact that they couldn't knock down shots again, which has been an ongoing problem for this team all year long. They hit 2 out of 20 from three-point range. They did knock in 20 free throws, just like Michigan State did, but the difference was the shooting from the field. Only 33%, 18 of 55. You can't do that and beat a team like Michigan State, especially when they out-rebound you on top of that 43-37. So it was a scrum. There's no question about it. I will give the players credit. I think the last 2 games they've at least battled. I saw that in the Michigan game last weekend, even though they didn't win it, and Michigan slowly pulled away. But it was they were able to do it because they're the better basketball team right now. There's no question about that. And how about what they did to Michigan State last night? I mean, talk about a team that was mad as heck after they got clobbered by Illinois over the weekend.
There's no question about that last night. They got a little home and home working there to close out the season between the Wolverines and Sparty. Don Fisher joins us. I wish we could further explain or converse about 2 of 20, but it is all so familiar. I don't know what left there is to say. You know what I mean? There's just nothing.
No, there isn't anything left to say, and that's the sad part of it. This team has not shot the ball well on a consistent basis all year long, and occasionally they'll have a good shooting ball game. I think they did have their best of the year against somebody here in the last, I can't remember now, it's been so long ago. I shouldn't say it that way because that's not fair, but and nevertheless, they shot it really. Was it Minnesota? I think Minnesota game maybe is the game that they went crazy on and knocked in a whole bunch of shots from 3 and did a nice job from the field in all respects, but this team hasn't done that consistently well, and like I said, one other time or a couple other times this year, the most consistent thing about this Indiana team is their inconsistency because they just cannot keep to put it together on a consistent basis.
And you sit around and you wait for Rob Fennessy to play well, and then he plays well, and then
he does, and they get beat.
Well, and then really everybody else struggles. So that's
I know that's the amazing thing about this team. It's they just can't all get on the same page at the same time.
So true.
And it's different people in each ball game, it seems like, that kind of step up. And I mean, obviously, Rob was the only player in double figures against Michigan State. He had 16 points. He didn't shoot it great. He was 6 of 16, but at least he went to the basket. He got inside and tried to knock down some shots
aggressive.
there.
He was aggressive. I mean, people.
That's the way he should be playing all the time.
Yes, agreed. Yeah, and people would talk about, well, they were going to go ahead, Izzo and their defense going to go ahead and let, Fennessy score and do whatever, but control Trace Jackson Davis and at this point. But I thought what you said is right. I mean, he had a level of aggression that you just don't see enough, and you wonder why you don't see it.
Right, and the other thing about Rob is, and you can say what you want, every time he goes out on the floor, generally speaking, he plays really good at the defensive end, or he plays hard. Let's put it that way. And the offensive side of it, though, it's like, generally speaking, and I say generally this year, because when he's missed a few shots, then he either stops shooting or he doesn't come close. And in this game, he struggled a little bit from outside, but at least he kept shooting them, and he knocked some shots down. So the key here is be a little more aggressive all the time offensively, and you might find some things really starting to happen for you.
Yeah, you would think, too, if you wanted to really let out some emotion and aggression, tomorrow afternoon would be a hell of a time to do it, collectively.
Would it ever be? Here's the other thing. I mean, you're going to West Lafayette. You're not going to have to deal with the student body. Right. There's going to be nobody in the building other than parents and family members of coaches and those kinds of things. So it's going to be an empty building. It's not going to be your normal Mackey Arena. So I give Indiana a shot in this ball game to make a statement here. If you're going into the Big Ten tournament, you do not want to go in there with a losing record. You're going to go in there with a losing record in Big Ten play no matter what happens into the Big Ten tournament. But maybe you can get yourself a little momentum going here at the end of the season. You're probably going to be the 10 seed, which means you're going to be playing on the second day. You don't have to play on Wednesday. And if you do that, then you give yourself a chance. I mean, you give yourself a chance to do something and to start feeling confident. And I think that's the biggest thing, John, with this basketball team. They when they start missing a few shots or things start to go badly, they lose their confidence level, which means they lose their competitive level. And you just can't do that. And this team, when they fight, they give you a battle. When they don't, it's one of those games where you just want to go, what's going to happen, and it ain't fun.
You have the weekly show, obviously, with Archie Miller, and I'm assuming at some point you probably got into practice time, and that's something we don't see. You maybe occasionally see. I'm not sure if you do or had at all. Not this year, but does he ever talk about how they practice? Because there certainly has to be a different look and feel from a practice to a game that has to be incredibly unusual and maybe not surprising any longer for him.
Well, the interesting thing is, and he has said this almost weekly on those talk shows, that this team comes back and they practice really hard. They go at it. They do what they're supposed to do. He has not said one time this year that this team has come back and practiced lousy. Not once. Not a single time. And so he's always talking about the fact that these guys get back in there, they start working, and they're trying to improve and all those kinds of things, but it does not translate to games. And that's the one thing I talked to him about last night when we had our talk show last night, which was a change in venues because of the travel plans for Indiana on Monday to go up to East Lansing. So we had the show on Thursday. But he said last night, he says that the biggest problem this team has is transferring what they do in practice to games, at least from a competitive standpoint. And it's not just competitiveness; it's translating everything. It's the confidence level, it's the belief in themselves. It's just there's so many different things that this team struggles with. And I have said all along, this team is more of a mental problem than it is a physical problem because they have the tools.
You know, it's funny about that, too. I think that they have that confidence when they start a game. It's just almost like, Don, they are waiting for the crap to start. Yeah, they're waiting for the crap to start. And when it does, it's an avalanche, uncontrollable avalanche, and then they fade away.
Yeah, and then there are games like the Michigan State game last night or Tuesday night when they played hard throughout the game. But it was the last 2.5, 3 minutes of that ball game when plays had to be made, and the other team made them. Aaron Henry went nuts again in the last 4 minutes of that contest. He took Michigan State on their shoulders, and Indiana had nobody to do that.
You had Joey Brunk on last night. I didn't get a chance because I was walking out of here. You started to talk with him, then I had to go down to the parking garage, and I get no reception. What's his future, just his future in general?
Well, he's not divulged what he plans to do for next year. My gut, this is just my gut, I think he wants to play basketball again. I know that he doesn't have to. He can certainly go into the business world if he wants to. He's got his master's. He'll have his master's here this spring. This guy's a smart kid. He's been around for 5 years. I still think he wants to play more basketball, whether that's at Indiana next year or he decides to do something else from whether it's European ball or those kinds of things. I have no idea because I didn't want to ask him that. I didn't want to put him on the spot, and I didn't think he would. I don't think he would have answered that question last night. I just said, once you're done with basketball, what's up next for you? And he talked a little bit about his plans. But right now I still think he wants to play basketball, and I got a gut feeling that he's going to come back for one more year.
It's Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, with us. Many people believe it's going to be kind of the wild, wild west this offseason in college basketball as far as transfers and guys moving. Is that something you expect as well? And not suggesting anybody with IU, but just in general terms, college basketball with maybe more movement than we've ever seen?
I don't think there's much question about that. I mean, think about these big-time programs, the Dukes, the Kansases, the North Carolinas, the teams that normally are right there in the hunt, and they're not this year. I mean, it's amazing to me. And you know that there's guys out there that are thinking, I should be playing. This guy's playing in front of me. We know how all that stuff goes. And I do think there's going to be a lot of movement. And I think Indiana will be looking at that's how they're going to probably fill out the rest of their roster for next season. I really think that that's the way they're going to go. I think they're going to try and get at least a couple more transfers. They've got one, Parker Stewart, of course, the kid from is it
Tennessee Tech?
Tennessee Tech. No. It's not Tennessee Tech. It's
Tennessee State.
Tennessee.
Middle Tennessee.
I think it's Middle Tennessee, and he's a walk-on, or not a walk-on. He is a transfer from that school. He transferred at the semester. His dad passed away, who was the head coach, and he just sat out the rest of this year to just kind of regroup and get ready for next season because of the passing of his dad. Because I think he would have been a mess out there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Under those circumstances, So he'll be there. He's a 6'5" shooter. I watched him shoot a little bit. He looks pretty good. They could have used him.
Well, I think they could have used me some too. I mean, seriously.
Anybody that could put it in the net, they could have used.
Yeah.
Trust me. But the fact of the matter is, I think I think that's the way they're probably they're really going to look at a lot of different faces here and see who's available through the portal. And because I think you're right, I think it's going to happen a bunch.
Yeah, it's just so unbelievable with their shooting, and it wears us out because it seems like we have to. I mean, it's a subject matter that you have to talk about, but it just is amazing because these guys nonstop shoot. I mean, nonstop, like Anthony Leal, for example. I mean, these young guys especially, nonstop shoot, and then you just rarely, if ever, see the translation in a game. That's got to drive you crazy.
If I and this is what I've watched this year, that like Anthony Leal had that one ball game, he knocks down 3 threes, right?
Yep.
He comes back the next ball game, he takes a couple, but it's almost tentative. And ever since then, I mean, when he has gotten into ball games, that's what's expected of him, to get yourself in a position where you can make a catch and then shoot the basketball. If he misses the first one, it's like the end of the world. And I'm not saying that he acts that way, but it's like that's almost the way he looks out there in the sense of how he goes about his business from that point on. Oh, I didn't make the first one, so I don't think I can take the second one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he's actually thinking that, but that's what it looks like. It's like all of a sudden they become tentative to shoot. And Trey Galloway, earlier in the year wasn't afraid to take a shot, even though he didn't take many, and most of them were on drives and things like that. But he's almost gotten that way since he's come back from his back problem. He's tentative as well, and so it's a problem for this basketball team. And it hasn't been the problem for Christian Lander, but I will say this for Christian. He has gotten better because he's getting a little more playing time. He's not throwing the ball all over the ballpark like he was early on. He looks like he's grown up a little bit, understands the system a little bit better, and has figured it out to some degree. And if he continues that, this kid can be a player because he's got tools. There's no question about that. But he's got to keep his head on straight, and he's got to mature. And that's just a part of growing up.
You got to leave here right now?
I'm still good for another 3-4 minutes.
Okay.
I do have to do an interview, but I'm still got some time.
I had an interesting follow-up to what you were talking about as far as, Anthony Leal, in our view – missing a couple and then backing away. That's not how any of these kids got to this position.
Right.
And that's what is so it's weird. It is so odd about that. And then plus, it's not like anybody else is knocking it down and I'm not going to take this shot because I'm going to defer to the dude that's really got the hot hand. Because nobody ever does, seemingly. And to me, it is just really weird how guys that have gotten to where they are now with that ultra confidence with the basketball in their hand, especially shooting it, that would defer or back away or feel as if they don't have the confidence to shoot it. I mean, even if it's not going in, it's just odd.
Well, and here's the other thing. You got a guy like Armand Franklin who's made dramatic improvement in his shooting this year, right? And Armand goes out there, he gets hurt. He comes back. What did he do? He shot. He didn't back away from it. Even though his shot wasn't going down, he did not back away from it. He continued to shoot and finally started hitting more shots again. And if that is an example, I don't know what is.
Yes.
Right. But guys don't take I don't know that if they understand that or if they're paying attention to it but all I know is at this point they're still very tentative with what they're trying to do out there from a shooting perspective. If you're known as a shooter, why aren't you doing that?
Oh, and at this point, who cares? Shoot it.
Right.
Just get out there and shoot it. Maybe because I agree with you on Armand Franklin. I mean, he just goes out there and shoots it, and he knows or believes that the next one is going to go in. I think that these guys all should have that. They've had that, but apparently they don't right now. Hey, I know you haven't had a chance to talk to the head coach yet, but injury-wise, what are we talking about tomorrow? You going to ask him?
Well, I already did. We talked about it last night, and he was up front with it. Race Thompson is questionable. He had to have a procedure done on his nose.
What?
After off the ball game against Michigan State. He got blasted in that Michigan State game, and so they went back and looked at it. He went in the locker room. They brought him back out at halftime. He played the rest of the ball game, but he had to have a procedure done the next day. So he had Wednesday, had this procedure done, and I don't know if he's going to be available for this ball game or not. That's what Archie said last night. It'll be a game-time decision. And likewise, Armand Franklin has started to shoot a little bit, but he's just basically taking shots out there, set shots, that type of thing. I still think he's very doubtful for this matchup as well. So if those two guys aren't available, this team is really going to have to step up, and somebody's going to have to play some basketball we haven't seen yet this
Just
year.
no doubt. I mean, just some outrageously hot type of performance that we haven't seen. So.
Well, I think Jerome Hunter is one of those guys that's capable of that, and if he gets hot, he could be a difference maker in this ball game. But let's just have to wait and see.
Man, Race Thompson, that's too bad right there. The old nose thing.
Yep, I don't know what his status will be for this game. All I know is it is right now questionable.
All right, it's Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. I know he has to run. Are you doing your interview with Matt right now?
I'm actually doing the interview with Archie coming up here.
Oh,
in
well,
3 more minutes.
Let us not keep you from that. You get to get in the building tomorrow and everything. That is fantastic.
Yep, we will be at West Lafayette tomorrow, and it'll be the third time we've been on site on a road game this year. And then, of course, we get to do the Big Ten tournament on site, so that's good news too. And how about this?
Yes.
The Big Ten decided to have fans.
Fans.
8,000 fans in Lucas Oil. It'll look like 80, but that's not a problem.
Until you go to Monroe County, and then you're not going to have that.
Right.
And I love Monroe County too, but damn. I mean, come on.
I'm not going to go.
I love Monroe County, Don, and you know it. I love it.
I do, and I do too, and I want them to have fans in that ballpark too, but they're not going to.
Golly, Monroe County. And that's Monroe County too. That's not right?
I don't know. I'm not quite sure of that.
Who do I blame for that?
Go ahead, whoever you want.
I'm going to blame everybody for that too, and fans and everything, and yeah. Come on, Monroe County, you're so good in so many other areas, except for that. So, all
right, dude. Nice talking.
Appreciate
to
you. Enjoy the call tomorrow. Thanks, Don. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I love Bloomington, and you guys know that, but damn, I love it. Always have and always will. I was just down there on Tuesday. Indiana State, a 53-43 winner. Man, and I want to see Greg keep going. You know, we talked about this yesterday and the day before, and I told you I had Greg on a couple of weeks ago. I think they had won 8 of 9 going down the stretch in the regular season in the Mo Valley. And, I mean, you just kind of know when they don't do a new deal for you and you're in the final year that you're considered a lame duck. But I admire a great deal what he's done. You know, what he has done, how much he's embraced it, because we have seen it in the past. It hasn't worked, and it is an incredibly difficult gig. So keep that thing going. They didn't play well at all today, too, and I was about ready to cuss. But 10-point win over Evansville, 53-43 for Indiana State in the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. Got IU and Purdue coming up tomorrow. We can discuss that more. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll take a break. We got time for you here. We got Anything Goes coming up at the top of the hour. You may want to bust in here because the last word, the Gorman and Matt Taylor did like 49 minutes of content for the last word, yet they're still not allowed to say Carson Wentz. Which is true, right? They're still not allowed to say Carson Wentz. So you got that coming up after me today. Hey, coming up tomorrow night, by the way, down the hall, I'll explain what you can win. I think Matt Taylor's going to drop in and join us coming up for a little bit tomorrow as well. It's 6 until midnight tomorrow night. Danny Lopez, Don Fisher, Mike Wells, Bob Lovell, and Tucker Barnhart, Reds catcher, all earlier today. Podcast 1075thefan.com, 239-1070, your calls and what you're saying inside the lounge and at JMV 1070 on Twitter. Other side, 93.5, 1075 and 1070, The Fan.
Hubler Auto Group has 8 brands to choose from and thousands of vehicles in stock. Plus, all new vehicles come with a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty included. Visit drivehubler.com.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo.
What is a cash-out refi? It's using the equity in your home to pay off high-interest credit cards. Paid it off! Yes! I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. With mortgage rates at a record low 1.875%, you can save hundreds each month and skip your next 2 payments. You'll pay nothing out of pocket, and we never charge for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan. And remember, our local lending experts speak mortgage and love translating for our customers. Eliminating debt means putting your dreams back on the table today.
Updated bathroom?
Updated bathroom and a pool table?
Don't push it, Rick.
Get started with our fast and easy zipline tool at goldenoaklending.com.
NMLS 114937, 1.875% fixed, 2.913% APR, FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit.
Hey, John here. FanDuel Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook. It is a blast. The app is simple to use, great odds, all different betting markets, unique fun, and then some. I talk about the ease of use all the time, but here's the best part. When you win, you want your cash. When you win, you want your money. You deserve your money, and you get that thing back when you win in as little as 24 hours. They also have live betting. You know what makes a game, especially this time of year, that you have little or no rooting interest in? More fun to watch? Live betting. Odds boost and specials and so much more. And right now, FanDuel is letting you place your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. So just place a bet on any game. FanDuel, great time of year. You can find everything. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 back in site credit if you do not win your first bet. No matter what we're talking about, you got a little collegiate hoop going on. You got professional hoop as well, golf, whatever. Do it now, risk-free. FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code JMV. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code JMV, 21 plus. And present in Indiana, first online real money wager, only site credit, non-withdrawable, and expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks is honoring the pursuit of brews and barrel-aged bourbon every Wednesday at their Bourbon and Brews Party. Get to Twin Peaks from 5 to 7 p.m. to experience a lingerie costume party paired with exceptional bourbons, tastings, and giveaways. Twin Peaks, 82nd Street and I-69.
Small business owners. Is your internet making office tasks painfully slow? Are your file upload speeds? Sluggish? Are your video calls choppy? You need more speed. AT&T Business Fiber gives you up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. Faster upload speeds mean smoother, less glitchy video conferencing and faster file transfers. Visit att.com/businessfast or call 844-661-FAST to get our best price on our best service. Imagine it, up to 20 times faster upload speeds at half the price of cable. AT&T experts can help you upgrade to AT&T Business Fiber. Soon, you're going to love your internet. Call 844-661-FAST now. Comparison by Telogical Systems, 12-2020.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. Last year, our average client received almost $40,000 at closing from an easy cash-out refinance. What would you do with an extra $40K? Finally pay off all that high-interest rate credit card debt? How about some big home improvements like a kitchen or bath? Let's see how much money you can get out with an easy cash-out refinance at thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hepatitis C threatens the lives of thousands of Hoosiers. Many people can have this deadly virus and not even know it. But there is good news. Simply follow the 3 C's to end Hep C. Get checked. It's easy and can be free. Get care. Treatment is safe and simple. Finally, get cured. You can live Hep C free when you follow the 3 C's. Get started today at checkcarecure.in.gov. Sponsored by Indiana FSSA, aired in cooperation with the Indiana Broadcasters Association and the station.
Sports Center updates on the Fan are brought to you by Big O Tires. Right now, save up to $150 off Nito, Toyo, or Pirelli tires. Only at Big O Tires, the team you trust.
Celebrate Rhino Shield covering Indy for 20 years with 20% off their regular price. Call 888-RHINO-41.
Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The Ride with JMV. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, Danny Lopez is really good. Pacers corporate communications guy. A lot of stuff there. Don Fisher, always really good. Podcast 1075thefan.com for both. Tucker Barnhart, Reds catcher. Spring training in Arizona. The defending NL Gold Glove Award-winning catcher started off the show. Bob Lovell was in there, too. Shout out to everybody going out that's allowed, that has a ticket to attend sectional semifinal Friday night for the fellas, which is a huge, and I think the biggest for the boys high school tournament schedule tonight in and around the area, state of Indiana. You got Bob Lovell is going to get you caught up on absolutely everything later on tonight beginning at 9:30. It's Indiana Sports Talk for you. Hey, JMV, I wasn't excited about it, but after Stafford was off the board, he was the most realistic option now that he's a Colts quarterback. Carson Wentz. Let's get behind this guy. Give him a chance to show that he is an MVP caliber guy. Low risk, high reward. Jason, thank you. It doesn't go without risk, there's no doubt. I don't know if it's low risk because you still are banking on this to work, but to me, I understand completely why you feel the need to take that risk, to utilize that option, and believe that a guy that he has thrived under in the past could help him here in the short term regain something even close to that particular form. That I understand. I also understand why you want to go out and find something because, listen, they were in on Stafford. There's no question about it. They were in on Stafford. Price tag was too high. But you don't wait around and let something materialize. I mean, really, if you wait around, just see if you can't trade up and get yourself a quarterback of the future. And as I mentioned, you wait around, and then ultimately you may end up with nothing. Because these guys that are being mentioned right now, I mean, Russell Wilson, you don't know if something's going to happen. It still seems far-fetched to me. And Deshaun Watson, even if he does get traded out of Houston, was not going to be traded here. You did what you can do, and you had that belief because of the connection of the past with Frank Reich. I completely understand it. We shall see what happens. Thank you, Jason, for the email. Bill is up next at 239-1070. Hello, Bill.
Jason, JMV, how you doing today?
I am great. Thank you for the call. Go ahead.
Hey, man, I'm looking forward to the NCAA tournament. I will make one prediction for the Hinkle Fieldhouse site. There will be somebody in the tournament is going to go all Jimmy Chitwood and hit that game winner, and then the over-under on Hoosiers being on every day for the next 60 days is 100.
See, our guy BT Dew has made the call that Butler's going to run the Big East table and punch their ticket into the field here to be played in and around Indianapolis.
Oh, man. It's going to be
That was BT Dew's call.
All right. Hey, also, I want to talk a little bit about the Pacers, but it's the 50th anniversary this weekend of Ali Frazier, the first one to fight in Madison Square Garden, and it's going to be on TV on ABC at 2 o'clock on Sunday, if anybody's interested in that. But you get a chance to see if Ali, or how well Will Smith portrayed Ali in the movie Ali. So that'll be kind of interesting. But with the Pacers.
Hey, was Will Smith better as Ali or Jamie Foxx better as Ray Charles in those biopics?
Oh, Ray Charles in you mean Boondini Brown, right?
No. I mean Jamie Foxx played Ray Charles in Ray,
correct.
And Will Smith played Ali in Ali. Which one was more? Which one was the most authentic? Both were incredible. Which one was the most authentic, according to you?
Boondini Brown, because he was a true mess. I mean, and Jamie Foxx pulled that off pretty well, and you'll be able to see Boondini as well. But Blake Griffin is going to get a buyout contract from Detroit,
and he wants to land with the usual suspects, which is no surprise. Yeah,
which is like the Nets and et cetera.
Yes, exactly.
Well, if for some reason he doesn't, would he be a fit here at all?
I don't think any way in the world he would consider, nor the Pacers would consider that.
Yeah, you're definitely right on that. And basically the Pacers are a team that just does not know how to win. I go back to the Glengarry Glen Ross analogy and everything, but they don't close. And if the play-in game is like getting steak knives, and they're going to be.
It is. It's like getting the version of the home game. Yeah.
Yeah. You might. We might get beat by the Bulls in the playoff game and or beat out by the Bulls. So I think they can get it together. The Pacers have a history of this, but is tough.
Yep. Hey, Bill, you're cutting out there. Thank you for the call, though, Bill. Have a great weekend. Yeah, Blake Griffin mentioned Brooklyn, Golden State, Miami, and Portland. I should say this. Adrian Wojnarowski mentioned it on behalf of Blake Griffin's agent. Hey, JMV, is Trace Jackson Davis ready for the NBA? Well, of course, he's not ready for the NBA to play consistently and get clock in the NBA, but might he rather go and play in the G League and have people in the NBA work on him to be ready for the NBA other than go back to IU for another year? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, does he have the athleticism and the skill set to get there? Yes. Can he play right now? Because you got to have a face-up type of game further out than 10 feet. Might he better serve for a team to take a shot at him that can work on him in that capacity more so than going back to IU, for example? Yeah. But is he ready as of right now? I think he'd be ready for somebody to take a shot on his upside, but as far as getting legitimate clock in the NBA, no. Brandon's at 239-1070. Hello, Brandon.
Hey, how's it going, JMV?
Great. Thank you for the call.
Hey, no problem. Hey, I just want to first say thank you for everything that you guys do, and I'm a fellow Indiana State alum as well, 2013.
Love it.
So I love Terre Haute.
Me
People
too.
give Terre Haute a bad rap, but they have no idea what they're missing.
If you don't have fun in Terre Haute, if you go to Indiana State, then that's your fault.
I spent many times at the Ballyhoo and the Copper Bar, for sure.
I love it.
But about Greg Lansing, man, I was there for 5 years at Indiana State, and Greg Lansing's about 2 or 1 win away from being the winningest coach in Indiana State, so it doesn't make sense why they would be.
Yeah, well, and here's the sense that I guess it's going to make is that ultimately Sherrard, from what I've been told, wants to make the change, and he wants one of his guys, and that's where, and I would agree. I admire what Greg has done, and I want Greg to continue it. But as what I believe that Sherrod Clinkscales, their AD, has made the decision that he's wanting to move on. And I wouldn't be surprised, and a lot of people have suggested this, if Micah Shrewsbury up at Purdue doesn't have a legitimate chance at getting that job, if and when they ultimately move on here. But I love what Greg has done. I want him to remain the coach, but decisions to in my opinion, have been certainly made there.
Hey, me too. I agree. Greg's done a lot for that city, and thanks for your call, and I hope that they don't make a terrible mistake and get rid of him, and go Sycamores.
You got it, Brandon. Thank you. Here's what's going to happen. You guys ready? You ready? Here's what's going to happen. You guys watching now on YouTube Live inside the lounge? All right, if IU decides to make a move, if it's ugly tomorrow, if it's out early in the Big Ten Conference Tournament, there's movement made. They bring in an IU guy, and it's not the guy that I have touted over the years being Dane Fife, Steve Alford from Nevada. And you know who's going to be the associate head coach on Alford's bench? Greg Lansing. That's how I envision that going. You might think it's crazy. I almost sang a car song right there. That's how I envision that going. Because IU, if they make a move, IU's going to go back to an IU guy, and I don't know why, because Fred certainly didn't give any consideration to Dane 4 years ago. I think they end up going for a former IU guy, and I think it's going to end up being Alford. I would guess it could be Alford, and then maybe you get Lansing on the bench with him. Just guessing. But no, getting back to Greg in Indiana State, he's a friend. I absolutely have loved what he has done and what he has put into that program. All the sweat, all the time, all the effort on the grind for a program that has to work to even be the lowest in Missouri Valley. I mean, it has been by far the worst job, and I love it. But again, people don't feel as I do about Terre Haute and Indiana State. I will always love it. I will tout it. I will talk it up. I will tell people to go there. But it is not at all a destination location. And he has worked tirelessly on that. Why would anybody want Dane Fife as their head coach? I like Dane Fife. I think Dane Fife's going to be a really good head coach once he gets back into it again, especially after being with Tom Izzo. Why wouldn't you want him? Why would you not? What leads you to believe that he is not going to be a really good, larger school type of coach one of these days? Why is that? Because he started at Fort Wayne and he went up to learn more under Tom Izzo? That seems like a savvy move to me. Am I wrong? I mean, what's not to like about Dane? You will have to explain yourself. And maybe you do that inside the lounge on YouTube Live, or maybe you do that at the top of the hour and anything goes. JMV, your boy Lansing will end up on Painter's bench. Matt, it's not a bad idea. That'd be weird, too. So Shrewsbury ends up at Indiana State, and Lansing ends up with Painter. That's weird. I mean, listen, Greg also has good NBA connections, too. So we'll see. I will miss him, and I certainly have admired what he has done for my alma mater in basketball. Now, the weird part about it is that I like Sherrard as well, and Sherrard knows that. Hey, JMV, if it's Alford, it'll be Bill Dewaney as the assistant head coach. And, of course, Bill is with Steve out in Nevada. You might be right about that. But then again, you may not. But you probably are. That's just my guess. Seven says Dane Fife was smart enough to recruit Mo Evans. Shout out Mo and Sevens. And if you can't tell that Sevens, who is a consistent Twitter follower and participant here, might just have some fatherly ties to Mo. Well done. All right, anything goes, top of the hour. You and me on the other side, Friday edition of this show. You got the last word coming up, I don't know, 5 or so minutes after I start Anything Goes. The Gorman and Matt Taylor. I got room for you at 239-1070 next.
Tune in to the Nissan March Madness Command Center for scores, key matchups, and game times on Indy's Home for Sports, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Sponsored by Nissan.
Right now, it's a seller's market. I'm Patrick Keller with Crest Point Real Estate. Get your free home value estimate from me in 60 seconds at sellwithpatrick.com.
Stress-free car buying begins when you let CarSnoop handle the dealer hassles for you while you stay anonymous. Build your ideal vehicle at carsnoop.com or download the app today.
That should do it with your new Anderson 400 Series windows. So stylish and easy to install. I have these exact ones in my own home.
Honestly, John, we couldn't be happier.
They're perfect.
They last a long time. Don't think you'll be needing me again. So this is probably goodbye. Alex, Julie, we'll see ya.
I hate goodbyes.
Alex, John was our contractor.
Anderson 400 Series are the windows contractors trust most. Learn more at andersonwindows.com. 2020 Anderson brand survey of U.S. contractors. Visit andersonwindows.com for warranty details.
Hey guys, looking for a reason to spend 3 days on the couch watching basketball? Schedule your vasectomy at Urology of Indiana for a Thursday or Friday, then sit back, relax, and catch some games over the weekend while you recover. It may be the only time your wife approves of hoarding the couch and the remote control. My vasectomy at Urology of Indiana was simple and took only about 15 minutes. Soon after, I was out the door and on my way home. During my recovery, I took ibuprofen and was back in my office in 3 days. The docs at Urology of Indiana are board certified and perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. They are pros at what they do, and they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. If you've been putting off your vasectomy, now is the time. You'll never have a better excuse to watch basketball.
Call Urology of Indiana or visit vasectomy-indy.com for information and to schedule an appointment. That's vasectomy-indy.com.
Place your legal sports bets at BetRivers.com. Your new home for sports betting. Millions of betting options a year on the sports you love. We offer live in-game betting on major sporting events worldwide. Tons of bets available during games, from money lines, prop bets, and many more. Use one of our 12 easy deposit methods to get in on the action. And when you win, we offer fast and reliable withdrawals. Sign up now, and we'll match your first deposit up to $250. More bets, better odds, more action. Place your sports bets at BetRivers.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. 1-800-994-8448.
Don't confuse basketball madness with haircut madness. Get to Lady Jane's in Greenwood and ask for the King's Treatment. Lady Jane's in Greenwood on State Road 135, just north of Smith Valley Road. It's wicked awesome.
Hope you're enjoying the weekend, and join us Monday morning, 7 a.m. sharp, and Big Joe and I talk about the NBA All-Star Game and getting you ready to go for NFL free agency. Monday morning at 7.
The Ride with JMV.
I got nowhere else to go!
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, good show today. I appreciate you guys all hanging out. We got a little bit of Anything Goes after that. And tomorrow night, I got you with the JMV Takeover. Matt Taylor, voice of the Indianapolis Colts, will be in studio with me for a little bit coming up tomorrow night. He'll get to soak up the one-man gang of a party maestro that I am 6 until midnight down the hall on B105.7 tomorrow night. I don't even know what they're doing. I just do whatever I want. It's what's awesome, too. Shout out to Sean Copeland and Eric Allen. They just say, yeah, do whatever you want. Like, they have these weekends. I think this weekend's A to Z. They have these other weekends that are all 80s, and they just say, yeah, do whatever you want. That absolutely never happens. Never happens in radio. It's a beautiful thing. Tomorrow night, B105.7, and Matt Taylor is going to be a guest host in there for a while with me tomorrow night. So set your dial accordingly. Stream us. Oh, by the way, too, thanks to Ryan Stoltz and New Belgium Brewing, they have this new, it's yet to be released, right? It doesn't come out until March, but it's a new hard seltzer, and I'm going to give you a chance to drink it before you have a chance to buy it. Drink it before you have a chance to buy it. So I've got some free liquid coming up tomorrow night as a part of the JMV Takeover as well. That's usual. Andy's at 239-1070. Hello, Andy.
Hey, I like Dane Fife. I just cannot get out of my head how Bobby turned him into a guy that could not shoot a free throw to save his life. I mean, kid could shoot in high school, and I know Bobby's intimidating, but I just can't get that out of my head, and that worries me about him being a head coach.
Flush that thought out of your brain pronto, okay? Because it doesn't matter.
I do.
It does not matter. Just flush it. Yep.
I can't flush it, man.
Flush it.
It
Flush the thought. Flush it. Hey, Andy, thank you for the call. Have a great weekend. Yeah. You know what you'd have to do if you had to hire a coach that missed some free throws? I mean, hell, you have a team that can't make free throws. Flush that thought. Larry's talking Sycamore Hoops, which makes my day. Hello, Larry.
Hey, I'm actually, John, I wanted to give a shout-out to all the Indiana State alumni and for reaching the $1 million goal on Give the Blue Day.
I love it. Shout out to all the alumni. Give the Blue Day.
Yep.
I love them over there.
Mark.
Larry, let's see if this team can't get themselves a semifinal win tomorrow afternoon, too.
That's what I'm looking for.
I'll tell you what, if they win, Larry, tomorrow, I may have to slide over to that crap hole in St. Louis and watch it. Because, it worked out great the last time that happened. Last time they made it to the championship game, I went over there and watched Ron Baker and Van Vliet put a hurting on them. That's when Wichita State was still in the Mo Valley. That sucked. Put a hurting on them. It's been a while. Tony Donahue and I went. Hey, by the way, this reminder, my friend Jason Mueller, voice of Center Grove Athletics, has gone through, just incredible stuff. Health-wise, trying to get back, trying to overcome it. He's one of the best guys ever. Just simply put, one of the best guys ever. And I know a lot of you know him. And we're going to help do something for him. Kopetsky Auto Wash, that's at Smoky Row and 135 coming up on Tuesday. That's Tuesday, March the 9th. Wash your ride for Jason Mueller. It will benefit to help with the incredible medical bills that Jason and his family have by virtue of his health situations. So that's Kopetsky Auto Wash, Smoky Row, 135, coming up on Tuesday. I'll remind you again on Monday, I may have to slide Eric Moore, the football coach from CG, on here as well to talk a little bit more about it. They're going to have some food down there for you. Smokehouse Catering Company, that's my man Keith. Shout out to Keith, who does a great job. Keith Johnson down at the Smokehouse. I think Smokehouse Catering Company's right there off of Main Street in Greenwood. He's going to have some food down there for you as well. But we want to help our friend Jason Mueller as much as we can. That's coming up on Tuesday. And if you need more information, I'll remind you about it all weekend long. Remind you, I should say, of it coming up on Monday as well. But it means a lot. He means a lot. This is my daughter's PE teacher at Walnut Grove. He is a tremendous dude. And we all want to help. And shout out to Keith for supplying some. That's great food, by the way. Great barbecue. That's coming up on Tuesday. And by the way, thank you. Litzy's going to be down there too. Hey, JMV, we saw the success of Rob penetrating Tuesday night. Why haven't we seen more of that from the point guards this year? Because they're apprehensive, they're tentative. All of kind of what Don and I were talking about. I mean, it's weird, especially the shooting. Because at this point, it's not like anybody else other than Armand Franklin will shoot it with anywhere near a level of consistency that's not terrible. So put it up. I mean, if you get out there and you get some clock, if you're Anthony Leal, put it up. Don't defer. I mean, these guys have all, Leal and, Lander will at least shoot it. It's probably not going to go in, but it's not like anybody else going to hit it either. Shoot it. Yeah, same thing with Finney. And Finney, to me, the other night, I mean, he did drive it to the bucket. Didn't matter they lost, but that has been something to watch. 2 of 20 from 3 is horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. All right, anyway, coming up top of the hour, you want to do a little bit of Anything Goes? What's the time on the clock coming up at the top here?
We'll have about 5 minutes.
5 minutes for Anything Goes. If everyone had hair like Alford in the 50s, Dr. Andrew, find a new job, yeah. Had Alford hair back in the day, man. No doubt. All right, we got some time on the clock for you. It is Anything Goes at 239-1070. You jump on, you call. I'm just going to put you on hold, and we'll talk about whatever you like leading into your weekend. Anything Goes at 239-1070 coming up. Denny Lopez, President Corporate Communications of the Pacers, was on a little bit earlier. When is that Alabama concert? Did he say? Listen, I'm not lying. I'd go see Alabama for a minute. Don Fisher, voice of the Hoosiers. Mike Wells, ESPN.com. Bob Lovell, Indiana Sports Talk. And Tucker Barnhart, Reds catcher, all earlier. Podcast 1075thefan.com. It is Anything Goes. Next.
Sports with Dan Dakich.
Shaka Smart joins us.
I want to tell you on the air, I love listening to you doing games on TV because just the perspective and the little things in basketball that a lot of people don't see if they haven't been in coaching or played at a high level. So keep up the great work, man, and thanks for having me on.
Man, you have no idea how much that means because of the respect I have for you, my friend. Thank you.
Dan Dakich, weekdays noon to 3 on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Hey, it's Rob Belushi at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg. All March, Indy is tourney town, and our mascot, Brian Baby Boomer Weddle, is in tryouts to make the team.
Hey, Coach Rob, can I stop running now?
Listen up, Baby Boomer. We have a strong game plan to win this month, and if you want to make the team, you got to keep up with the plays. Our first play is $15,000 off 2020 F-150s.
$15,000 off F-150s. That's a great play.
And we're running $8,000 off 2020 Escapes.
$8,000 off 2020 Escapes. Another great play. Wait, how many plays are we running at once?
That's a coaching decision, Brian. We also have over 200 nearly new vehicles ready to get in the game.
And we can give you the assist with $2,000 more for your trade.
Now you got it. I'm promoting you to team captain. Keep that mascot suit, though.
Why?
Because you're doing both jobs now, captain and mascot.
I think that's impossible, Rob.
There's no I in Estes, Brian. All March, get $15,000 off any 2020 F-150 or $8,000 off any 2020 Escape. Your key is waiting at Bill Estes Ford in Brownsburg.
Hot dogs, hamburgers, popcorn, unlimited on all-you-can-eat night.
The fuel, Big Joe, and unlimited food. What more could you want?
Thursday, it's another all-you-can-eat night with the Indy Fuel at Indiana Farmers Coliseum. Big Joe is the undisputed eating champ of Indianapolis, and he's going to try to retain his title during the first intermission during the hot dog eating contest.
Hockey, unlimited food, I'm in.
Face-off is at 7:05 against the Fort Wayne Comets. Get your tickets at IndyFuelHockey.com.
Hey there, it's Big Joe, and there's never been a better time to find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Right now, new customers have a chance to win $100 in free bets when you place a $1 moneyline wager on Israel Adesanya to win against Jan Blachowicz in their fight on March the 6th. Just use that bonus code BIGJOE100 when you make your first bet to take advantage of this offer. Get ready to start betting with confidence and turning knockouts into payouts. Sign up today and discover BetMGM's daily promotions, boosted odds specials, and more. Download the app or go to BetMGM.com and use my bonus code. It's BigJoe100 to win $100 in free bets if Adesanya beats Blachowicz. Get in the ring with the king and enjoy fight night more than ever. It's always showtime at BetMGM. This is a new customer offer. Paid in free bets. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years of age or older to wager. And if you or somebody you know has a gambling problem and wants help, please call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
If you qualify, the VA loan program is the best option out there. Whether you're refinancing or buying a home, visit HeroLoan.com.
NMLS number 1326-241.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, WIBC, HD3, W228CX, Indianapolis.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Coming up, our conversation.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, let's do it. Anything goes at 239-1070. You got time to get in here before the last word with the Gorman and Matt Taylor. By the way, Matt Taylor joins me on the JMV Takeover coming up tomorrow night on B105.7. Free liquid is going to be flowing courtesy of New Belgium Brewing. Drink it before you can buy it situation tomorrow night, too, so be ready for that. Anything goes at 239-1070. You're not going to be checked in. You just go on hold as we go to line one. You're on the air. Who's this? Hello.
Hey, JMV, this is Joe. How you doing?
Hello, Joe. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
After the Boilers take care of business tomorrow against the Hoosiers, is there any way in the world that you have Archie Miller on your sideline next season if you're the AD for IU?
There is no way that I would have him right now. I mean, it's just the way I feel. I mean, it's to me, it's over. Unless. And I just don't see it because I don't see the hope in it. But, you know, unless there's just some incredible game tomorrow and some unbelievable run in the Big Ten tournament, I've seen enough. So, but I don't matter, but I've seen enough. And to me, the only way that he is back next year at all is a financial way. And that's it. Because it just doesn't make sense to me.
I was going to ask, how much money is that for them?
It's a little over $10 million, I believe, that can be paid in $3 million increments and disappears whenever he gets another gig, I believe is how it's been explained to me.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've seen enough, man. So
All right, thanks.
I hate to say it, but I think most people would probably agree with me. But we shall see. And we'll see how they play coming up tomorrow. It doesn't sound good regarding Armand Franklin, and we'll see about the broken nose, or I shouldn't say broken nose. I don't know if it's broken, but the, how should I put this? The compromised nose region of Race Thompson. Coming up tomorrow, up in West Lafayette. IU and Purdue, part 2. 239-1070. Anything goes. You're on the air. Hello.
Is this Dan Dockich?
This is John.
Woo! Good. I hate that guy, man. John, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Hey, I really just wanted to plan on Dan Dockich. I've got nothing else for you. Have a good one.
Thanks. All right. So anything goes for you right there. So what happens on Anything Goes? That's why sometimes we question the logic of having Anything Goes. But I think you guys deserve it. You guys dig on it. It's a great Friday thing. Have a little bit of fun with it. Nobody gets bent out of shape. And somebody probably will. Wait a minute. That's it? Hey, you're on hold. Anything goes. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, John, the local newspaper is not going to refer to the baseball team, their nickname. So are you going to have a campaign on a name change, and then the Columbus Clipper is going to be the Indigenous Clippers, or,
yeah.
Where's this going?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're just going down that path where it's kind of the path where I don't care, I guess. Maybe I should, but I don't. So, hey, thank you for the call. Have a great weekend, too. Line 2's Anything Goes. Go really quick for me.
Yes. From a black guy, I feel bad for Greg McDermott. I'm sick of the whiny liberals, and I'm a black guy, and it makes us look soft and weak. No more whiny liberals, white or black. No more whiny liberals.
That is Anything Goes. And the hang up to close it out. Kyle, thank you. Last word. Gorman, Matt Taylor next. JMV Takeover tomorrow night. Free Liquid, 6 until midnight on B105.7. Have a great weekend.
Thursday's another all-you-can-eat night with the Indy Fuel. Unlimited hot dogs, hamburgers, and popcorn free. And Big Joe tries to win the title Indy Hot Dog Eating Champ. Tickets at IndyFuelHockey.com.
Rick Edelman, award-winning radio host and founder of Edelman Financial Engines, takes questions on his radio show. Let's hear his answer on long-term care.
Hi, Rick. I'm worried about